Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of the MinnMax Show, a place about games, friends, and getting better. My name is Ben Hansen, and I'm joined by the face one, Kyle Hilliard.
The face one?
Now with more face than ever after he's shaven. I'm joined by Jeff Markiafava.
That's me.
And I'm joined by the new hair, Janet Garcia.
Hello. I feel like Kyle's lack of hair distracted from my lack of hair.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's not my intention.
Like, I can't have anything in this damn company.
Yeah, everyone watching this on YouTube is like, oh, I can't look away from Kyle's face. There's so many.
Me and Kyle once get fused into
at.
one person. It's like the person with less hair and likes platformers. It doesn't really matter who it is.
Are we? Well, what's our direction?
I don't know what
here?
You can't.
I don't know what direction
give
we're
up.
just
Give
playing,
up.
yeah.
Give up. Give up. Welcome to this episode of the.
Too powerful.
That's right. Welcome everybody. We got a lot of ground to cover on this year episode of the podcast. It is all about predicting everything that's going to happen in the year of our Lord 2026. We're going to run through the entire year to the point that you can just like check out from all gaming news for the entire year because it's going to be so accurate. You're going to be completely set. But before we do that, we need to check in because last year, let me look at this. We confidently predicted everything that was going to happen in 2025. Did we succeed or fail? I'll run down the stats. We'll get all of it out there. We're also going to be talking about some newish games that Jeff and other folks have been excited about, like Dogpile. Remember that old web search site, Dogpile? Kyle? Seems up your alley.
Yeah, I used it occasionally.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a
if
good
I wasn't
search
using
engine.
Google, I was usually an Ask Jeeves kind of man.
Yeah, you seem like that. You can tell from the shaving. And then back half of the show, we are going to be joined by the great Maddy Myers. You might know her from her work at Polygon or the Triple Click podcast or the new website Mothership. So we're talking about that, answering community questions along with us. Look forward to that, everybody. Jeff, how are you feeling about your predictions from last year, man?
I can't remember them, so great.
That's the best case scenario. It's
I bet Jeffem got one, like he nailed one, but like really whiffed at least like one other one, like really missed it.
at least one other one. Yeah, it turns out Jeffem, Nintendo did not make Mario Bowling. So sorry.
Leaving money on the table. That's still a great. That's still a great idea. Tell me I'm wrong.
But ultimately, I think Janet kind of got the right prediction because going back and listening to last year's episode, I'd say 60% of the predictions and everything else, don't get too excited, Janet, was about games that were delayed into 2026. So at the end of that episode, I was like, all right, and that's 2025. And Janet very wisely was like, or 2026. And so that's ultimately the greatest prediction of just being like, yeah, none of this was actually 2025 stuff. All those rapid fires about GTA 6. We could redo them, I guess, but that'll just stand. We can go back to that.
I agree
archive.
with whatever I had said before because I'm sure that's what I believed.
Okay, so do you also agree with yourself before, Janet, when you predicted that Nintendo would release a keyboard for the Switch 2?
No, but that's a great idea. Again, me and Jeff, we got all the plans for Nintendo ready to go.
Right there.
I want that so bad.
It'd be nice. So here's the thing. We have the same crew. We've been doing this since 2022, technically, of like the same crew doing predictions. Cool. Congratulations. Janet, I know it's not right, but in my mind, I'm like, oh, Janet, she's new. It's like, oh, no. It turns out Janet's been around for a lifetime.
No, I feel this. You're valid. I feel the same way.
Okay, good. Well, welcome to the party, pal. So here's the thing. It's confusing if we play clips from last year because it's the same crew. So they'd be like, I don't know what this is. Is this last year? Is this year? So here's how it works. If there's a clip from last year, we put an old-timey piano underneath it. So here's one to kick it off. This is one Kyle Hilliard from last year. Let's see how he did.
GTA 6, 2026.
Okay.
Ooh.
Slips out of this
it's
year.
like cowardly.
I don't know. Yeah, they've really
actually
been
kinda
doubling
bold, I
down
think.
on messaging. And Take-Two's like, it's coming.
I think it's actually a pretty bold prediction because I've thought about that. I'm like, I don't want to touch that. There's no way it's getting delayed, but yeah, maybe.
Yeah, solid.
Yeah, I also
it's
thought it,
so
and then I
big.
was like, I would be an idiot to say this out loud on a podcast.
Yeah, I think so. There you go. Kyle.
Hey, feeling pretty good. All right, I'm heading out.
Did it?
That's
All right, see you, man.
Going out on top.
You could double down and say it's not going to hit 2026. Because right now it's in like November, 18th?
November, I know that's
Like-
dangerous.
But if he doubles
territory.
down, then I won't be able to.
All right, give Janet something, Kyle, please.
It was GTA is not on my personal list of predictions in any way. Yeah.
Okay, all right, nice. You also predicted that Mother 3 was going to release, Kyle. I got...
Really?
Yeah, you did last year, yeah.
Oh man, I feel like I've always been pretty adamant that it's not. But hey, I said
Check the
never
tape.
mind.
Yeah, I think it's coming this year, but I can't just double down on yours. That's lame. Metroid Prime 4, you had argued, this was debatable apparently, that it was going to release on Switch 1 and Switch 2. And very notably, I firmly disagreed with that. I said it was only going to be a Switch 1 game, which is insane.
Do you remember? It's hard to put yourself back in that mind space, but like, why would you be?
I think
so
it was
adamant?
just people are always just so optimistic with Nintendo, and it's always like they're going to make some weird decisions. It's going to be. It was stupid on my end. Let's see. Who should we get to next? Janet, you want some? You want some clips? You want some rapid fires? Okay.
Whatever you have lined up.
Well, this is maybe the biggest. This was in the rapid fire section from last year. Here's Janet with a bold prediction. Janet, Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Will it make Kelsey's top 10?
Oh, yes.
Wow. That got a wow from me. The idea of Claire being in the top 10 for one person was like, okay, radical take, Janet.
I was scared on that one. I'm like, what dumb thing did I say about the game that I definitely didn't know the name of at the time? I was like, Claire, Expo, what?
Let's see.
Thank
You said that Gears of War E-Day was going to release in 2025, which I called you a coward for it being so obvious that it was going to release in 2025. So I was an idiot. Let's see. You said that the Wolverine game won't be releasing in 2025, so good call there. But we'd get a trailer, which is correct. There we go.
Okay.
Which is basically the same as getting it. So
I think so. Yeah. Although Jeff in the rapid fire said that the Wolverine launch trailer would tease one other mutant, and that's all we'd see. But we saw last year the reveal trailer had 2 other mutants in it, so I don't think Jeffem's way off on this one.
I said that?
You did, yeah. It was in the rapid fire, so those barely
we're all
count.
taking your word on this, Ben. None of us went to listen to
That,
it.
the rapid fire, you
podcast.
just pull stuff out of your butt.
Well, that's the point, yeah.
Nobody's thinking about anything at that point.
Here's a bold one. Janet predicted that a new Donkey Kong Country game was going to release in 2025. Country, very specifically. And that was based on, there were rumors at the time of like, oh, Nintendo's going to make a Donkey Kong standalone movie. And they just, made the expansion to the park and stuff. So it felt like Donkey Kong was kind of in the air lightly, but the game was still debatable. That didn't happen. But
hold on, I put on my spoiler hat.
For?
I think she was right.
Donkey Kong Country.
Banana is a Donkey Kong Country.
No, it is not. Just because it has homages to Donkey Kong Country.
It's canon.
No,
you
it is
go
not.
back to Donkey Kong Country
Kyle,
DLC.
It's in the title. No, absolutely. It's like 2D in the title. It's 2 very important distinctions for making it a Donkey Kong Country
don't
game.
listen to Ben. He's just mad that he got so much.
He's trying to be nice to you because you didn't like his game, Janet. You don't have to go along with that nonsense.
Yeah, it's obviously part of his agenda. Just going out of his way to be nice to me. Yeah, that's one of those like fun to think about, Kyle, but like, come on, man. It's not a Donkey Kong, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, it's kind of interesting conceptually, but doesn't count, unfortunately.
But Janet making that Donkey Kong Country prediction led me to this one here. They're queuing up for Donkey Kong. I think it's going to be Donkey Kong in a 3D platformer with Mario on Switch 2. And just because I'm not a coward, I'm not scared of y'all. My bold prediction, at some point in the game, Mario will ride on Donkey Kong in this 3D platformer.
Oh my God, I'm like, that's like a sickening thought.
All right. A sickening thought.
You know what's funny? My reaction was, I wish that would happen. But it is also kind of gross, right? Like,
no, I love Pauline. I remember when, before Pauline was properly revealed and there was like a tease, or not a tease, but like a leak. I remember messaging it to you, Ben, and being like, dude, you were so freaking close on that one.
Yeah, I think that's, it wasn't exactly right that Mario rode, but like the idea that there was going to be a 3D Donkey Kong platformer, which was nowhere near confirmed or even lightly rumored, really, and then that a character would ride on him, like I take that as a big victory. That is going to be my victory lap of the century, so I'm going to be coasting off that one for years. So okay. You all enjoyed it.
We'll just ignore all the Mario part.
Well, let's see, Jeff. Let's see. Here's a hot prediction from you. Do you want good or
you're gonna
bad?
come after me, huh?
Let's see what we got. There's a lot of good stuff. Jeff, to be fair, let's see. You announced to the world that a big Marvel game was going to be canceled, which Black Panther it was. So that was solid, right? You also predicted this here.
Indie domination is going to continue this year. Big game of the year pick for multiple outlets will be some kind of crazy Balatro, like not in terms of genre, but that kind of out there scale pick.
Would you do you count like Hades too as like that?
If it's not Balatro level or weirder, then you can call me a fool.
And I will. Fool of a took, Jeff.
Well,
Come
I
on,
blew
man.
that one. I had it
You were
snatched defeat from the jaws of victory on that one.
Yeah,
I mean, Clear Obscure is an indie game by
It
all
is.
technical
And if I had
reasons.
shut my mouth at that point, I would have been good.
But then it would have been so boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Mine last year, I was whiffing. I also guess that Pokemon Legends ZA would not have a Switch 2 version, that it would just be Switch 1. I was just
really
too pessimistic.
did not want games on Switch 2.
I was just trying to predict Nintendo being outlandish.
Yeah, I think it's fair to be pessimistic about Nintendo always. Yeah, you're usually gonna fall on the right side of history there.
Let's see. I guess that Gang of Dragon, the new game from the creator of Yakuza, that'll be revealed at SGF. I was wrong. It was revealed at the Game Awards. So, it's just night and day, completely different. SSX HD, I said last year. Now, it didn't happen. God willing, it's this year, but I doubt it. I did predict, tell me where this lands, that the Switch 2 would get a camera, a la the Game Boy camera, that would plug into the top USB thing.
No, because it doesn't plug into the top
kinda.
USB thing.
I mean,
right?
it does, but there's a cable.
does.
If they showed it
It's not
once,
connected to the system.
I
I
think
think that's
Yeah,
that's
it's
kinda
got to
what
be
we're
like
going for,
mounted
right?
on there. I think.
Yeah,
is the
I give myself
piece.
40% of that. Like they did have camera
market it.
integration for Mario Party and all that crap. So there was something there.
It was a big part of their marketing is like camera, right, guys?
I mean, that's true. I am a genius. I guess that Ed Boon was going to retire
Take it
last
back.
year, which he did not from NetherRealm and Mortal Kombat. The sad thing is, when I was making my predictions for this year, I wrote down Ed Boon will retire. And I was like, oh, wait, no, that was exactly my prediction last year, so I got to stop thinking that thing.
Well, you got Ted Price. You got the Ed.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's
That was
where
close.
you misunderstood the Oracle.
Yeah, I was close there. Janet, you predicted that some soccer player was coming to Fortnite. I don't believe that happened unless I missed it.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't think that happened either. But
Okay.
who's really looking that close?
It's
I
unclear.
should just say, no, you weren't there, Ben. Whoever was talking about it.
Let's see. Kyle, I forced you into saying this, but you predicted that the GameCube was coming to the Switch 2. So not bad.
Nailed it. Why did you force me to say that?
You were talking about some other prediction, then I put you on the spot to be like, will GameCube come to the Switch 2?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. If you want some dorky, obnoxious behind the scenes thing, I don't like hearing things ahead of time. I heard that was coming. And I was like, that was me trying to nudge you, like, call it right now, Kyle. GameCube on Switch 2. You predicted that an Infamous remaster was coming in 2025, Kyle. I'm sorry. You kept insisting that Ember Labs was working on a licensed game that was a carryover from 2024. That was not
Bring it
announced.
forward. Push it forward.
Keep it rolling.
I did ask Sucker Punch about an Infamous remaster.
Oh,
so
okay.
That counts for something.
That's got to be good for something. Jeff, you predicted a new Halo that'd be like a cryptic teaser of like at the end of their showcase, they'd play the Halo theme, then it'd be like in 5 years, we'll actually get a release of this game. I mean, technically we're getting the Halo remake this year, but it's not exactly that feeling, You were warmer and closer on this one. We need like an official ref to weigh in for this one, Jeff, on Elden Ring Night Rain. Here's your prediction.
Elden Ring Night Rain, not going to be popular. It'll sell okay, but it's going to be like major disappointment compared to actual Elden Ring.
Yeah.
You want to take a stab at that Metacritic?
Let's go low and say 75.
Whoa!
No way! Jeff, no, absolutely not. No.
I think the lowest is going to
No.
85.
I could sit here.
baby.
I could sit here and I could be a coward and we could say things that we know are going to happen. Okay, there's going to be a ton of layoffs this year. There we go. I'll look like a genius next year when we play that back.
There we go, Jeff. Okay,
I'm just gonna stop taking my predictions, Jeff.
So here's where it gets tricky. I think Night Rain is seen as a success. Like, I think, in my mind at least, a lot of players enjoyed it. It sold over 5 million copies. The weird thing, though...
I don't stand by that prediction at all.
However...
No, but the Metacritic...
we all were like, whoa. And when you said 75, it's a 77 on Metacritic. So it's like you were pretty close, but the tone
Very
of it...
impressive poll.
Yeah.
For all the crap you guys gave me.
Yeah. However, Jeff
whoa.
Marchiafava, this clip is not done. Here we go.
Oh.
Yeah, so the other half of that, which makes it completely invalid, is From Software is going to come out after that and be like Bloodborne 2 finally coming.
There we go. So at that point, we got
Okay, but
you just mispronounced Dusk Bloods. It's okay.
Blood Dusk, spiritual sequel. Everyone was saying it.
Okay.
They're all like, oh, it's Bloodborne 2, but Sony has the name, so
if we're gonna allow
they
this
gotta
spiritual sequel, successor, wiggle room, then at that point everything is a Donkey Kong Country game, Kyle. Nothing means anything.
Yeah, everything's a Mario on Donkey Kong's back at that point. So.
The twist of Bonanza is that
Kyle,
it's a Donkey
stop!
Kong Country.
You can't be so fast and lose with that. Let's see.
No
I
one
guess
knows you're putting that on.
I guess that Enhanced Games would release a new game. They did with Luminous Arise. That's all right.
That was yours? Is that what...
Yes, but I guessed that it'd be number 17 on the 210s, which it did.
Oh.
It did not end up there, which is a real bummer. It belonged to be number 17, but it did not crack the 210s.
Do you have number 17 offhand? What would get kicked off?
Well, I don't think we could possibly take over the primary spot of the most beloved number 17 of all time, which of course is Peak.
I mean, Peak is
Knock it off the mountain.
definitely better than Luminous Arise. I don't know.
Let's see. I predicted a Splatoon animated series. Still a good prediction. Not there. Predicted new 3D Castlevania. Revealed at the Game Awards. Not there. How embarrassing for me. Do you remember that game Sunderfolk that released from Dreamhaven last year?
Yeah.
The tactics RPG thing that you play on your phone that I think is quite cool. Here is this prediction here. We'll see if I was way off or way on. And my prediction is that game will be a surprise hit. Sunderfolk will be like, freaking awesome. People are into it.
I'm going to predict it won't be.
Damn it. There you go, Jeffem. Jeffem takes it again, of
There you
course.
go.
I don't think we need the Night Rain judge on that one.
That was a colossal not quite hit. Let's see. Rapid fires. You want to run down these? Let's see. Jeffem says the MinnMax's goatee had not been announced yet. Incorrect. Claire Obscure was announced the year before. You said Skate is not a feel-good win at the end of the year, Jeffem, which... I mean, Skate, it has its defenders.
I think he gets that one right.
Yeah. Okay, you got a meaty one we'll get into here, Jeff. Janet, you said that Haley will see the Until Dawn movie in theaters. I don't believe she did that. Let's see. You say now we won't see Sony Santa Monica's new game in 2025, but it is a new IP. Jury's still out on that one. Kyle, you said the mysterious C button on the Switch 2. We're trying to figure out at that point because we recorded like in February, I think, for the predictions episode because there's so much going on in January. You predicted that would turn on the mouse. Let's see. You guessed that the Oblivion...
C for change
Control
how
the
you're
mouse.
using your controller.
That's right. See me after class. The rumored Oblivion remake, you predicted that would have more Steam reviews than Starfield. Ended up being 45,000 versus 83,000, so not quite. You predicted we would not hear a single thing or see a single headline about Project Robot from Ueda. Incorrect. We saw the trailer, and it was freaking sweet.
Oh, was that last year?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
You predicted that there would be 2 ninjas in the games for MinnMax's upper 210s. There'd be 2 ninjas featured. If you look at the list, do you count anything from Death Stranding 2 as a ninja? Can you make the case that there's a ninja in that game?
There's a robot ninja in that game, I would argue.
You would argue.
Well, okay, he's a robot samurai, I guess.
This is also Ghost of Yote, Atsu, not a ninja technically. Is there a single...
No. Jubei, or right? Is that his name? He's the first ninja, and she's like following in his steps.
So there is a ninja in the game.
That's what Ghost of Tsushima is about. It's someone who discovers the art of being a ninja and how he's outcast because of that.
Wait, Tsushima or Yote?
Tsushima. So I'm saying because Atsu is following in his steps, she's a ninja.
I don't think she's a ninja. Check the tape, everybody. Let's see. You guessed that Sakurai would show his face in Nintendo Direct. Way to go. You said at the end of 2025. This is the worst prediction I've ever heard in my life. The end of 2025, Final Fantasy IX fans would be happier than Final Fantasy Tactics fans, which is Final Fantasy IX fans are like E.T. face down in the ditch at this point, so I don't think you're looking great.
There was someone bribed the Final Fantasy IX creator in a funny bit online to say that it was the best Final Fantasy. Pros D did it. Did you see that little clip?
Oh, is it Sakaguchi?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, hey, why don't you tell us your favorite Final Fantasy? And he was like, Final Fantasy IX. And then like in the background, Prosdy was like handing him a $100 bill.
Cute. To be fair, Sakaguchi has been saying that for years, that it's his favorite. So I think it was kind of...
It was just free money.
Let's see, you predicted that aliens would not be featured in Perfect Dark, which I guess is technically true because Perfect Dark does not exist anymore.
Nailed it.
Yeah. And if you're listening, Microsoft wants you to destroy your N64 cartridge of Perfect Dark at home just to feel better. Just go ahead and step on that a bunch. They'd feel more comfortable with that. Andor fans would get into Star Wars Eclipse, Kyle, with something that was uttered by you, which is nonsensical in retrospect. Jeffem, you had this one. You predicted, Mario Kart World would outsell the new Call of Duty. We don't have sales numbers for the new Call of Duty. Mario Kart World in September had sold 10 million copies, but it was a pack-in, so it's murky. So the question is like, is the lowest selling Call of Duty in years, can it still cross that threshold? And we just don't have the numbers yet, so we'll check back in. Let's see. You said 0 gaming sites would go down in 2025. Quote, what's left? Polygon and PC Gamer? They're doing pretty good, I think. And then it ended up Polygon and Giant Bomb both exploded, but then are still alive. So it's confusing, I think, on every front. But you also predicted, Jeff, that Xbox would have a better year for games than PlayStation in 2025, which Janet grimaced. You look at the rundown. It's not outrageous. So Xbox, more or less, right? Big stuff they publish here. Avowed, Outer Worlds 2, Doom Dark Ages, South of Midnight, Keeper, Ninja Gaiden 4, Tony Hawk 3+4, Oblivion Remastered, Grounded 2, Black Ops 7. And then Sony is Death Stranding 2, Ghost of Yotei, The Show, Midnight Murder Club. Like, it's really like, how much do you weigh Death Stranding 2 and Ghost of Yotei versus a bunch of solid games from Microsoft
Obsidian
here?
games.
Yeah.
My thing is just like the vibes have been so
Yeah, I feel like you gotta...
It kind of hurts them in that way. It's impossible to separate those two from like the conversation around Xbox right now. So that is... But yes, it is true that they have like low-key had some strong releases with like, you know, I liked South of Midnight and I thought Keeper was fun from what I played.
By the way, we never checked in. I know Kyle and Jeff and you both started Outer Worlds 2, right? It was just like, not enough time.
I never started it.
Oh, really? Okay. Jeff, did you have thoughts on Outer Worlds 2 that you never shared for some reason?
I played a little bit of it, and it felt like the opposite kind of case of Avowed, where it was like, I like every change that they made for Avowed, and that made it a really interesting open world game. And this kind of, it didn't grab me as much as the original Outer Worlds did, but I was very early in it, so
sure.
Don't take that as a complete condemnation or anything like that.
Yeah, you can hear his voice trailing off. You know what we should get to is some hot predictions for 2026. Out with the old, in with the new here. But I think Jeff probably won that, by the way, from last year. If we have to.
I don't think anybody's happy with the outcome.
Everyone's a disaster.
so let's move on.
Jeff doomed Polygon.
This is the year we get everything right, though.
This isn't call out good times. It's, you know, it's make predictions.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm going to predict? I'd say in like 24 hours, my tummy's going to be rumbling, and only one thing can satiate that. A 2-minute meal in the microwave, thanks to Factor Meals, everybody. Delivered right to your door. Delicious chef-prepared meals directly to your door. Yeah, Jeff, you probably got a lot of ambitious goals for 2026, right? Personal aspirations.
Of course.
Yeah, who wants to spend time in the kitchen when you're doing that? You're busy writing the next great American novel. You need wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, food. And that is what you get with some 2-minute in the microwave Factor meal food. Always fresh, never frozen. You do their chef's choice. Selection is one option for you, and it just rotates through the best possible things. Great chicken dishes, green chili chicken, bunch of delicious food ready to go. It truly is quite good. I use it regularly when they ship them on over. 100 rotating weekly meals for Factor Meals. Options include high protein, calorie smart, the Mediterranean diet. Kyle, I know you're always talking about that. Plus, the new Muscle Pro collection supports strength and recovery. The 2 words I would use to describe Janet. So you can head to factormeals.com/MinnMax50off and use code MinnMax50off to get 50% off your first Factor box plus free breakfast for 1 year. Offers only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Check out the description for that link. 2-minute meals. It is fantastic. Check it out, everybody. 2026. Piece of cake. This is you look at the calendar, it's like, what's even the point of living through this year? I already know everything that's going to happen based on these hot predictions. Who's got a scorcher they want to start this whole thing off with?
Switch 2 will not launch this year.
Yeah.
That's a recurring one that we were using a couple of years in a row.
That's true.
Here, I've got one.
Please.
Sandfall, the developer behind Clair Obscur.
Yes.
I think we will learn what it is doing next very fast. I don't think we're not going to be playing it. I don't think we'll be playing it, you know, like this year or anything. But I think whether that's like a Clair sequel, something entirely new, some big, huge, like single player Clair expansion or something, I think we will learn about it this year because they're going to want to ride the momentum of like, you know, Clair Obscur and be like, hey, this is what we're doing next.
So you're saying like there will be a blog post that says like we're hard at work on the next Clair Obscur title, like something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
Okay.
Like they'll kind of plant a flag of like this is what we're doing. They're not just going to be totally quiet.
And
Like,
as we
there'll
learned
be some
from
kind of announcement
Expedition
this year.
33, planting a flag always goes very well for everybody involved.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Smart.
I too was thinking how to build on the fact that they plant flags in that game.
All right, here's one. Bloober Team. Know them, you love them, you tolerate them. Silent Hill 2 remake developers, Kronos New Dawn last year. They have teased.
Silent Hill remaster, right? They said there. Is that what you're getting at, right?
Ooh. I wasn't getting at that actually. But they have teased, like we're working with Nintendo a little bit more. We're pretty tight after Kronos, I think, was ported over to Switch too. My tease is spiritual successor to Eternal Darkness from Bloober Team. Switch 2 exclusive Eternal Darkness. Now, they could call it like Infinite Darkness. Doesn't need to be called Eternal Darkness 2, but very clear sanity meter focused Eternal Darkness successor from Bloober Team.
Forever Shadows.
Yeah, exactly. That type of thing. But exclusive to Switch 2 is the big part.
Okay.
Good
So they're doing
stuff.
that alongside remaking Silent Hill.
Yeah, probably. I guess so, yeah.
Okay. I mean, they made Kronos and Silent Hill 2 pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, they crank stuff out.
Mine is that we have friend slop as like an emergent genre. We're gonna get a spin-off genre of that. And in my prediction for that so it's kind of a twofer-ish thing. This is how I cover my ass in case I'm wrong. So the spin-off of it, very cursed name, Cozy Slop. It's blending cozy games with proximity chat. And the kind of one of the catalysts is that game I'm forgetting it, the one where you walk around.
Big Walk.
Big Walk. Big Walk is kind of going to be one of those early Cozy Slop titles that we get.
That's good. I think even without like the proximity chat, I think just the word Cozy Slop, I bet it'll be used in a non-ironic way. Yeah, in 2026. It's just like, well, slop, that's just what you call things now that you want to put down. What else you got? That's good. Jeffem, I am so ready for you to wow us. And let me just set up Jeffem for how smart this guy is. Do you guys remember like when we did predictions in like 2021 and he was talking about the rise of AI? And
I did that like 3 years in a row, and I feel like 2025 was the year that it happened.
Yeah, but still, I remember it was like at the time, remember we all like sucked our thumb and we said, "What's AI, Daddy?" And he had to explain how this was going to be a huge thing coming down the road.
Well, folks,
Yeah.
in a couple years, you're going to hate this. Yeah. That apparently, like Where Winds Meet has NPCs that are all driven by large language models, and you can like trick them into just giving you the rewards they have if you put it in parentheses. If you just say like, gives treasure, it just like the large language model breaks and just gives you the treasure. Cool. Great stuff. Really improving games,
It
guys.
sounds fun to me.
They figured it out. Here's one. I'm gonna do it first. And I saw people say this online, but I had already planned on saying it. So I'm not. So judge me however you will. Steam Machine releases with Half-Life 3 as its launch game.
Why would they need it?
They don't. But it's fun. It's gonna be. It's the fun way to put that game out in the wild. And they're totally making it. I'm sure. They're tired of just sitting back and printing money.
I understand.
They said, "Hey, we might as well make games. We're coming in the office every day, not doing anything. We might as well finally make this thing." And we got an excuse to put it out.
They launched Steam on the back of Half-Life 2.
I understand that.
I think that would be actually when you say like, what's the point? It's like that would really elevate the Steam machines in a huge way, for sure.
People have computers. I mean, I'm just saying they don't need it. Like what they would need to.
They don't need it. They don't need anything.
New hardware. Oh, did you hear about Half-Life 3 is finally coming on? I heard I can only play it on the Steam machine.
So you're saying it's exclusive?
That's not true. No. I'm saying that's how people are going to interpret it, and it's going to help elevate it. It's the same way like Aperture Desk Job.
Right.
People kind of assumed you had to play that on Steam Deck, which was not the case.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what happened, and I don't know if that's sold Steam Decks or anything, but like they have a history of doing it.
I understand they have a history, but that's for specific things. Here's the question though: is it going to incorporate? I think this is a better chance if it does release that it would incorporate with the VR headset. Because they're actually trying to get people to purchase, right? So that'd be a way to actually boost it compared to like, I already own a computer. I don't need this Steam machine for that.
It could, but I'd like to believe that they wouldn't force VR on people in order to play Half-Life 3, so I'm going to say no.
Optional.
They kind of already did.
Yes.
Optional.
You're with Alex, right?
Yeah, they did with
that was
Half-Life, Alex.
I also had a Half-Life prediction. So, and it was similar to Jeffem's. Rather than saying it would be affiliated with the Steam Machine, I said we will get a new Half-Life this year. There will be a new Half-Life game this year, but I don't think it'll be called Half-Life 3. I think it'll have a subtitle or something. So, and it won't be necessarily directly tied to the Steam Machine, but new Half-Life this year, not called 3.
Okay. And are we going to hear about that MOBA again? Is that ever going to be officially unveiled in any way?
It's gone in and out of beta. I mean, I know Alex and Eric over at Game Informer were talking about it like a month ago, how they were really loving it because it was available to play again.
I understand that, but do you think that Deadlock will have like a bigger release? They'll actually acknowledge it in a real way here instead of just like whispered, like, yeah, we're doing it. It's on Steam, whatever.
I think it's gonna be pretty whispered.
Okay.
But also, I don't like that game, and I don't want them to make it. So,
baby boy. Speaking of baby boys,
single player.
I love how that informs all of our predictions of just like I don't want that to happen, so no.
Janet, do you want bold and specific, or do you want lame and boring and snooze fest broadness?
Bold and specific.
Yeah.
Bold and specific.
I think MinnMax's Game of the Year for 2026 will feature a playable animal in some form or some sequence. Perhaps the main thing. Just taking a stab.
The main thing. Do you have something in mind for this? Or like how you see it playing out?
I see it being like, oh, there's a couple sections where you play as an animal, or you can like possess animals, that type of thing.
Just in a general game, or are you like GTA is gonna let me be a tiger?
Hey, you know what? If GTA lets you be a tiger for one mission and then I can claim victory here, I can claim victory.
I mean, they let you be. You were a dog in one mission.
One?
Yeah, whatever.
You were a dog in one mission in GTA 5. I don't know if you guys all remember that.
Hey, speaking of not being a coward, I'm going to lob out another specific dart right to the bullseye. Control Resonant will contain an anime sequence.
Wow.
Okay, that's fun. I like that.
Yeah, thank you. I'm talking like, object of power makes everything around it look like an anime, something like that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I think that's a really nice prediction because they are seemingly, I haven't played all of Remedy's games, but they're big on like the fun, flashy set piece.
They need something.
The kind of like the walking museum that you can also shoot everything in.
Yes. Yeah, from Alan Wake 2. Yeah, they need something. They've covered music. What's next to get people talking? Anime, baby. It's huge. Look into it. Google it.
I got a fun, depressing one. I'm calling this one the Apocalypse. The prediction is both Sony and Microsoft are going to have terrible years. Yeah. Marathon's going to be a dud. Halo campaign is going to come out like a wet fart. Nobody's going to care or want to play it. They'll both close at least one major studio. And then towards the back half of the year, they're just going to push everything into 2027 to get out of Grand Theft Auto's way. And fans of both consoles aren't even going to want to fight the console wars anymore. They're both sides are going to be so depressed they're just going to lay down their arms and walk away.
I feel like that already happened.
Play something on their mobile phones.
Interesting.
Is Intergalactic? Is that is not 2026, right?
Not according to Jason Schreier.
It doesn't have a slate, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jason Schreier said 2027 for that one.
Okay, that feels right.
No,
because that would be the only one that I would feel like might get in the way of Jeffem's prediction here. You know?
I mean, Insomniac in theory is releasing Wolverine. I think it's likely it might get pushed to 2027.
I feel so tired on their behalf. They're just like carrying this whole thing on their back.
Well, they chose the wrong name. My prediction, Jeffem, is Marathon will be a hit. I think Arc Raiders has primed the pump in the extraction shooter. People like it now. And just like, oh, a really smooth feeling extraction shooter, first person with Bungie controls. This is great. I, in fact, predict it'll sell over 5 million units. Marathon will.
Bold.
Okay.
Thank you. I've completely 180.
You want to put a Metacritic on it?
Yeah, you should.
Have I not been specific enough? I said animal and goaty.
You have not.
As a little bonus, it's a little treat. It would be nice if you tried.
Okay, yeah, Marathon. I think it's gonna, be a solid 82, but I think it'll sell. Well.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay, Arc Raiders is an 86 for.
Yep. Okay, that feels right. Right. That feels right.
I feel like this is better for 2027, but I'm not in that year yet. I could be dead by then, so I'm just gonna throw this out a little early. Metroid Prime 2 and 3 remastered.
Smart.
Perfectly later than it should have been. That's why I'm like, part of me thinks it's gonna be the next year.
Yeah,
because it's always later than it makes sense. So I feel like next year's better, but I'm gonna throw it out for this year.
I like it.
So both, you think? Two and three?
I'm gonna put 2 and 3 together, yeah, because that follows the weird, like Nintendo had all the 3D Marios except for Galaxy 2, and then they're like, now we have Galaxy 2. They had only the first Prime, so they're like, now it's done. So they're either one and done or almost done. We left one. That's my logic.
Okay, I like it. Age of Empires 5 announced. Sci-fi setting. Relic is not developing this one. Crowd goes wild. I'm in the crowd.
This is one of those ones.
The crowd is really funny.
This is one of those ones that none of us will be able to confirm, except for you could tell us next year that this happened.
You'll notice.
We'll be like, okay, we trust you.
Oh, it'll make a splash, buddy. You.
Okay, here I got a big one. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Rayman is back, baby. Rayman.
Don't give me hope.
Okay. With
probably 3D platform.
Who's making it? Do you know who's making it in your mind? Side?
Internal. I don't know.
Montpellier again. I mean, is Michel Ancel involved in any way?
No, he's not.
Okay.
It's a bummer. He should be.
Interesting, Kyle. Not. With those allegations, interesting take. Okay. All right.
Here's one I'm pretty sure is completely wrong. Nintendo is going to quietly walk back the $80 price tag. They're not going to say anything.
Yeah,
but they're just not going to release any games that are at $80 the entire year.
I love
the one that I think is going to tank me is I think they will for whatever the 3D Mario game that's supposedly going to be announced. Year. But if they don't do that one, I'm going to stick to my guns and say everything's going to be $60, $70.
Yep.
But they won't say anything about it.
Yep.
It just won't happen.
How much was Metroid Prime 4?
70
on Switch 2.
70.
It was 69. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm seeing here Kirby Air Raiders was $70 too many. I don't know what that's what the official. That's weird. Let's see. Here's a hot one. We've all had years of fun, poking fun, but it's time to get down to brass tacks because we will see a Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3 trailer at Summer Game Fest. 2027 release date, but this is going to be the reveal trailer for this title reveal, of course. Final Fantasy VII Revival. And this is for me editing next year. Of course, it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Refinished. Of course, it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Reclimax. Of course, it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Relic. Of course, it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Resolution. Of course, it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Renaissance. Of course, it's going to be Final Fantasy VII, this is truly my prediction, Reckoning. I think they need like some climactic tone in the name. It's like, this is the end, but also it's exciting. I think Reckoning is the tone they're looking for.
I think Revival was the one that nailed it to me.
Do you think?
Just hearing them.
Yeah, but that almost...
Did you say Reunion in your list? Was that in your list?
No, they used it for Crisis Core. They can't.
Because they used it already, yeah.
Right, yeah, all right.
Because
that was like, it felt like they kept using that word a lot.
Which is why it's confusing. Yeah. It's like, oh, they're going to call Crisis Core the remake that. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, revenue is the prediction from Backstage Pass.
Revenue. Parentheses lack of.
How dare you? Anybody else going?
I am going to go with, and I'm worried I'm forgetting a game that's already confirmed to be coming out. Well, I guess there's, what's that song? Okay, so I'm thinking no first party Nintendo bangers.
0 first party bangers.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go. I think there's some stuff that's like, this was cool, but not a banger. You'll know it when you don't see it.
Okay. Yeah, that's bold. I like it. I predict that Sony is going to please hardcore fans so much they're going to lose their minds when a new SOCOM game is announced. And specifically from the developer That's No Moon, which is some former Call of Duty and Naughty Dog developers in Southern California that have been quiet for a very long time. There was one military-esque screenshot that supposedly leaked from them a while ago. So it is going off that, but I think that's going to be partnering with Sony for a new SOCOM. Crowd goes wild because they need to compete, with Microsoft owning Call of Duty at this point. Like, let's bring it back. The
Mario movie sequel will underperform compared to the first movie. It'll still be a hit, but it'll be it won't do as well as the first movie by a pretty significant margin.
Okay, is it cracking 700 million?
Well, what did the first one I think hit the B? Right?
Oh, it hit the
Didn't
big B. Oh yeah, it hit that like a.
I think
coin
it's
block.
between like 700 and 800 million.
Okay.
Which I think they would see as like not an immediate green light for a third one. I think maybe.
I predict you're wrong. I bet it cracks 1 billion. I bet it does better than the first Mario movie.
Because my sort of reasoning here for this prediction is like I mean, at least I feel this way. I was very eager to see Mario on the big screen, right? Like I was like, what does that look like? What is that? There's a lot of excitement here, but it ultimately like was not a great movie, right? It's like it's not like a rewatchable movie that's like, wow, that was so amazing. I can't wait to see what happens next to the Mario Brothers. Now that sort of has worn off. I don't really need to see Mario on the big screen again, and I think that movie. The reason it was such a big hit is because it was for people like my age, like bringing their kids, and I don't know if they're really going to be as excited to do it for the sequel.
Your kid's too old, Kyle. My kid has seen that movie 10,000 times.
Yeah, I think that movie has proliferated. Just look at the impact of Peaches alone. Like I think every kid has just become obsessed with that movie over the last couple of years to the point that they're going to then drag their parents. Even if it's a 40-year-old, you're like, it's not above 40% Rotten Tomatoes. I don't want to see it. It will not matter. I think like culturally, it is seeped in, baby.
Plus, Luigi is going to yell chicken jockey during it.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be the big,
They know it now.
the big talker.
They know the key. I got one.
Please.
GTA 6. We all know it's going to sell a bajillion copies, but Slay the Spire 2 will have a higher Metacritic at the end of the year.
That's good. That's
do you think it will
good.
have a Metacritic though? Because it's coming out in early access. Because I think it might not get a Metacritic for that reason.
Do early access games?
I think
not
they
get-
still do. Let's see.
They typically don't. Like some people review them, but usually not enough to aggregate a score.
Interesting. Yeah, Valheim still doesn't have a Metacritic. Yeah, you're totally right. That's
Okay.
weird.
Well, whenever it gets its score,
Okay.
it'll have a higher Metacritic.
Good. I like it.
2027, when Metroid Prime 2 and 3 is remastered,
Yeah.
Slay Spire is a 97.
I predict that we'll see the next game from Monolith Soft, the Xenoblade developers, and it's going to be the big holiday game for Nintendo. It's going to be a huge new IP RPG, and it's going to be great, and it's going to be the big holiday release. Fire Emblem,
Not a Xenoblade. They're doing
not a
something new.
Xenoblade, new. Fire Emblem releasing in the summer, and then this is going to be the big holiday year, and it'll be a year of RPGs for Nintendo, and everyone will love it.
Okay. The another Nintendo prediction: Smash Brothers Ultimate gets a Switch 2 port.
Yeah.
Not a new Smash Brothers, but it'll get ported. Donkey Kong will have his new character model, and there will be at least one new fighter to sort of celebrate the return of Smash Brothers. And I'm gonna predict King Rauru from Tears of the Kingdom and Age of Imprisonment. Because they're weirdly Onuma seems to be weirdly into Age of Imprisonment. Like he was like saying it's going to influence future Zelda titles, which I'm like,
right.
You sure you want to use that one? Like I like Age of Imprisonment fine, but yeah.
I wonder if this is like more action focused or like maybe cross development with Koei Tecmo or something. That's kind of how I read that. I think that's good, but imagine the fervor on the streets. If you get one of those Drag and Drive guys, imagine him on Corneria in the wheelchair, basketball as a weapon. Wouldn't that be awesome? It I think would be a really cool character.
It would be kind of like the character from ARMS being in Smash Brothers. Like that's
Right.
the coolest implementation of that character.
Which I still think
my other character prediction.
Yeah.
The Virtual Boy as a fighter on its little tripod.
It like walks
That would be
around,
fun.
blinds people.
A little spider.
Yeah, blinds.
I don't think they would let you blind people with it. For
Yeah, you know,
obvious
I guess,
reasons,
I guess,
unfortunately,
they're not gonna do it.
you can't have fun because a couple people got headaches. Now we got to be all above the board.
I think you're right, Kyle. I would predict though that it's like, hey, it's the bundle. The Switch 2 version has all the characters from DLC from Ultimate, and then 2027 4 DLC characters are coming. Like they kind of tease it. And it's like the roadmap for the next 3 years or something, you know?
Okay, so the version of Smash Brothers that I buy in my Switch 2 next year, or this year rather, will not have any new fighters in it, is what you're saying.
Correct. That's my prediction.
Okay, got it.
It'll be Kid Pauline, and she can turn into Odd Rock as one of her moves.
That's kind of cool.
That would be
Like roll
cute.
down and kind of Kirby
I
down
forget-
B.
I forget. Did they not like make a definitive like statement on Smash? Like I thought it was done. Did I hallucinate that?
Well, he retires after every Smash Brothers game,
Yeah, he also, every sentence that Sakurai says, he says, I've officially retired from speaking sentences. And then he keeps coming back. He keeps talking.
It's real Hayao Miyazaki does that too.
Like,
Every movie
I'm getting
is his
too old
last
for
movie.
this stuff. And then he comes back. Okay, I got you.
It's that vibe.
He's a little liar. Okay.
I don't want to say that.
Kojima did a little bit of that too. I think after Metal Gear Solid, he was like, I'm done. And then he was like, well, hold on, let me make like 5 more of these.
Yeah, absolutely. Here's one.
PlayStation.
Oh, please.
Oh, just PlayStation Remaster no one wants or needs. That's like a shoo-in for pretty much every year. I'm trying to figure out which one it would be. Part of me said Spider-Man, but then I don't know if they do that with Wolverine coming out.
Yeah, it's already kind of
I
done.
think it's Medieval 2, a game that everyone forgets that they remade.
Yeah.
They remade Medieval.
That was
we
weird.
all collectively were like, oh, okay, thanks, I guess.
Yeah, I remember that a little bit.
That was everyone's
Medieval 2. They're gonna remake Medieval 2 and be like, somebody wanted this.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Mine is Sony Bend, the Days Gone developers. They have a teaser trailer for their new IP. And all I know for sure, I'm seeing it right now, is when the title's revealed, it's like smoke billowing. Title reveal.
I'm intrigued already.
See? Mm-hmm. Don't you pre-order now? Anybody else got any dingers?
Wait, is that it?
Your prediction is just smoke billowing on
the title reveal for Sony
title.
Ben's new game. Yeah, it's fun to get specific, Jeff. What do you got?
Can you at least take like a stab at what the title would be? Like, it won't count towards against you, but like, you got to give me more than
a noun.
You got to give me
one noun in the name of the title.
Filter.
It's gonna have the name of
filter's a good guess.
That's interesting. It's gonna have the name of a location in it. So it's like
the game's title.
Yeah,
real or
filter.
fictional.
Real. So it'll be like
Washington,
Asia Rising, something.
Filter.
I wish I had it at the front of my head to nail this joke, but what that Elliot RPG? What's the world called again?
Philadelphia.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, that's it. You're right. It'll reference Philadelphia somewhere in the Smoky title. That's all I know for sure about Sony Ben's new game.
Why is there smoke? Sorry, we're spending so much time on
I'm
this,
just
but
feeling it, Janet. I'm just feeling smoke in the title reveal.
Cool.
Let's see. These are. Do you want depressing? Or
Always.
somebody want to save the day? 2K Games, they'll cancel that weird third-person extraction free-to-play thing called Project Ethos, and they'll quietly kill that Studio 31st Union that they've been puttering along with for a while. This feels too bad. I'm scared about Yacht Club Games not making it through 2026. Like, I think Mina the Hollower looks cool, but the idea that that's going to sustain the studio for years, I'm like, but this is boring if it's just I'm scared for this studio's future over and over again.
Yeah, what are you scared of? That they just that Mina won't
sell.
Be a hit and it'll
correct.
Yeah.
That's my fear. That's my deep fear.
I know. Pipistrello got such high scores too that I'm like, if this is the same vibe, I feel like it'll. I know I wasn't crazy about Pipistrello, but I feel like clearly a lot of people were. So by that janky math, I think they're gonna be really profitable.
Okay, all right, that's fair. But I don't think Pipistrello sold really well. People were hot on it who played it, but I don't think it was running up the charts here.
Yeah, but if Yacht Club made it, I think it would have.
Okay, that's true. I bet you're right. No, honestly, I think there's something to that. Let's see. Media Molecule, they released their new IP or announced their new IP, and it'll be extremely unfavorably compared to Astrobot. Everyone will be like, "That's cute," but Astronaut is just blowing this thing out of the water.
By that do you mean it's going to be a platformer?
Yeah, straight up platformer with less of a good feel to it than.
Do you consider the Dreams campaign to be a platformer?
I think I would. From what I recall of that campaign.
Yeah, are you assuming
fair.
level character content?
No character creator stuff or level creator stuff.
No character creator stuff. They're just going to make a normal game.
They're making a normal platformer. Yes. Normal human platformer.
And then Sony shuts them down immediately.
Tearaway?
Yeah. Something in the vein of Tearaway. I think it's a Tearaway-like experience. Yeah. I got some more. New game from Acid Nerve, the developer who made Death's Door. And it's going to be seen as one of the year's best games, is my prediction. That's something that's like, hey, Acid Nerve, household name. Ask your grandparents about Acid Nerve. They've heard about it. Instead of Acid Reflux. Let's see, my prediction for next year is everyone's going to still be talking about that joke I just did. The developer, Angel Matrix. You might say, who is Angel Matrix? I don't remember them. The developers of Neon White. They're going to announce their next game, and it's going to be freaking sweet. I'm just looking at those studios that are like ready to pop, and I feel like, Death's Door and
Yeah.
Neon White, like that was long enough ago. They've been
Neon
quiet
White
for too long.
2? Or you think something new?
I think something new, something borrowed, something blue. Okay, you guys ready for rapid fires?
Neon Blue too.
Oh, Neon Blue, that's good. Okay, Jeff Markey Fava, how much will the cheapest model of the Steam Machine cost?
Are we assuming there are different models?
Yes.
$800.
That was exactly my number. Janet Garcia, can you, at this time next year, quote one line of dialogue, not tutorials, one line of dialogue from Yoshi and the Mysterious Book?
No.
Correct. Kyle,
I don't think there'll be a lot of dialogue because it's not a big chatty franchise.
that book is talking a lot in that trailer. I don't know.
What's incredible about that prediction is she could go out of her way to memorize something from that game, and she just doesn't want to do it.
Yeah,
No, I don't
that's
want
true.
it.
Extra
It's
weight
also
to
a
it.
game that I predict that Janet will beat and enjoy, and maybe me as well, because maybe I'll be on the review. But everyone else will have only played the first hour, and so Janet can just make something up. And
That's
you know.
probably fair, yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'll search this transcript. It's going to be so popular, people will be writing out the script, fan fiction reenactment of the big scenes. Remember when the book said this to Yoshi? Collect 3 flowers? Okay, Kyle. 007 First Light. 007 First Light. Will Leo have played that game after the month of October? Meaning it's coming out in the spring. Will it have enough legs that Leo will revisit it after October?
No.
Okay.
I think it's going to be too narrative focused for Leo in the sense that like it won't be one that he revisits.
Okay.
You know?
Sure. Janet Garcia, this is from the community. I thought this was a really excellent question. Wolverine, will the default attack in that game be square or R1?
That is a great question. Damn. I'm going to say square.
I'm sorry, the answer is probably R1. No, you're probably right. Let's see. Kyle Hither.
Spider-Man, to be clear, Spider-Man, I believe, is square, right? Is attack.
Is it?
Because the shoulder buttons are for web stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the way to shake it
But
up.
there
man.
are R1 has like become like definitely a hot like,
it's the hot button.
button input to, but yeah, it's a hot button issue.
Resident Evil Requiem. R third rail. Is it? Anyways. Kyle, Resident Evil Requiem. Will Leon flirt with Ada Wong in Resident Evil Requiem? Will we see her, and will there be flirting in the game?
No.
Okay. Will Alyssa, the main character's mom, be playable in DLC?
No.
Okay. Jeff Markey Papa, give me one word to represent the reception towards Clockwork Revolution.
Try hard.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
Hyphenated. Janet, will the new...
I can't remember what Clockwork Revolution is. Come on.
Oh, you were trying
kinda
hard
looks
to
like
remember it.
Bioshock Infinite.
Yeah, it's in
Like, it looks
Exile.
like a
It's
Bioshock
Microsoft Studio game. I think it looks cool. Wasteland 3
too.
was the last one. Janet, will the new Nintendo of America president, Devin Pritchard, will she say one thing that we find even moderately interesting in any interview from 2026? Something debatably interesting.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Because I think we're desperate to hear from anybody from Nintendo. And I feel like we'll find something to be like, oh, it's not going to be like Light the World on Fire, but I think there will be something that people talk about a little bit from like an article, like a quote.
That's all I need. Okay, I say no.
Because, I mean, the answer for Doug Bowser is no, right? I don't think, right?
I don't
maybe?
remember anything, but I definitely think
That's
there's
what I'm
been
saying.
like talks with him where at the time we were like talking about it. Like I feel like that's happened.
I don't know if there's maybe when he was like economic headwinds. Like
I mean, the most interesting thing about Doug
yes,
Bowser is that his last name is Bowser. Like that was it. That's where it ended.
Yeah,
right?
and I think that's the way Nintendo loves it. Okay, Kyle.
Yeah.
Halo pardon my French. Halo campaign evolved. Will it be one of the top 5 highest selling games on PS5 at the end of the year? Top 5.
Okay, well, what I feel like we asked this question a lot, but it's like, is there a metric for this? Because they don't really share those details. Like,
they do for they show the charts. Yeah, so we don't know exact total numbers, but like new games released 2026. We're not going to compare it against Minecraft or something. New games 2026.
Will it be in the top 5?
Yes, for PS5.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Kyle, also in the Super Mario Galaxy movie, 2-part question. Will Yoshi speak? And will the voice actor for Yoshi get a slot in the Nintendo Direct to talk, like in front of that white screen. Like, thank you so much, Miyamoto-san. I'm playing Yoshi. Is it to that level of character?
I don't think Yoshi's going to talk. No.
Okay.
But I think he will be played by that actor who does all the voice work all the time. I can't remember his name. Let's see. Hold on.
We'll wait.
Well,
Give us hints.
You know who I'm talking about? Like he's always does like animal noises and stuff like that. He's consistently. Burt? It's Steve. Oh no, D. Bradley Baker.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was like Nix in the Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, but he's but no, I don't think Yoshi talks. Yoshi was in the first movie, right? Am I misremembering? There was a herd
they
of
just
Yoshi.
show the egg cracking at the end.
Come on, it was an iconic scene.
Where am I
of the
thinking of seeing a herd of Yoshis? Am I conflating that with seeing a herd?
I think it was in the trailer.
Pikachu? Is that what I'm like losing my mind?
Hang on, is that in the trailer?
When I close my eyes, all I see is a herd of Yoshis. So I understand.
There was like a herd of Yoshis.
It does sound familiar.
A herd of Yoshis, but
super dumb prediction that isn't going to happen with this movie thing. Does he talk? Does he not? He doesn't talk, but he does talk when he's possessed by an evil Koopa, a la the Nintendo Adventure books, specifically the copy Brain Drain, aka the only one I read from that collection.
Cite it.
And
Absolutely.
also, you totally should go back and check those out because there's some weirdo stuff happening. And it's that classic, what do you make the decisions when you go back? Yeah, so he talks there because he's evil.
Done. Okay, that's
how they're going to do it.
I like it. I think on Giant Bomb, they predicted that Jenny Slate was going to be Yoshi, and now I can't unhear it. I was like, that's such a good, weird, bold prediction. Okay, Jeff Frankie.
I found a 1-second clip of a herd of Yoshis in the Super Mario Brothers movie. So they were in there.
They acknowledged them. Okay, and they were all talking.
Yeah, they're like, they see them like walking around in the world. So I just think they're just considered animals, basically.
Okay. Yeah. Because you saw a herd.
I mean, they are. But like, there's the Yoshi versus the Yoshi, like the Toads.
Yeah, it's debatable.
You know?
Man, does Yoshi ever talk, like even in written dialogue? In Yoshi's Island?
No,
I know that, but like, is there like dialogue boxes where Yoshi's like, "I'm going to save you, Mario"? Or
there are
like
in some games. I forget exactly what it is.
Okay,
yeah, totally.
He's mostly not saying anything though.
He's suspiciously quiet. Jeff Marchiafava,
his silence is deafening.
Will any trailer from Arcane Leon's Blade try to use sex appeal? Will any trailer be debatably sexy in any moment for Blade?
Can you make a Blade trailer that isn't sexy?
Hey, this is the question.
Yeah, it depends on your definition of sexy. I'll say yes.
Okay. Weird. Jeff, stop talking about Blade and sex. Jenna Garcia.
It's going to be Blade who's sexy.
Yeah, so. I got it. Jenna Garcia, are we going to Asheville in 2026?
No.
Kyle Hilliard. The plan is yes. Kyle Hilliard. Saros. Saros' story is a blank.
This is all hyphenated? Mm-hmm. Less impactful than Returnal.
I thought you were going to say that, you absolute coward. Let's see. Jeff, will Pragmata at any point make Jacob Geller raise his eyebrows and express, I just don't understand what Capcom was thinking with this one specific thing in this game?
Yeah.
Okay. Kyle, Onimusha, Way of the Sword. Over or
will
under?
Exist, yes.
Okay. Over or under the reception of the first Neo game? You know, will it be more mainstream or less mainstream than Neo 1?
More.
Okay. Let's see, Janet, in 2026, how many VGC...
And how will we measure that?
It's very clear. 2026, how many VGC articles will be written about Half-Life 3?
Oh, is this because there may be a site that does those like placeholder ones? Is that what you're asking?
No, I think they're a good news source.
Yeah, I like VGC.
That's not what I asked. Okay, anyway, but I'm gonna say 3.
Okay, Jeff, how
is there
hard...
one already now? And do I get credit for that one if it already?
No,
exists?
2026 new articles. So it can count if it's one that's like, where's Half-Life 3? But if Half-Life 3 comes out, there's gonna be 300, right?
What if they update the old article to get it back into the?
Yeah, I guess like we're splitting hairs here.
I'll just do 3. I'll just do 3.
Smart. Jeff, how hard will Xbox be teasing their next generation of consoles by the end of this year? Scale of 1 to 10.
A 0.
They're not going to say a single word?
Nope.
Jeez, pedo. Kyle, Judas. At the end of 2026, will Ken Levine be thought of more or less positively than he is right now?
More.
Let's see, Jeff, the Street Fighter film, will it top $32 million worldwide box office gross? Which, of course, is the Borderlands line, as we all know. We call it at home, the Borderlands line.
No.
Okay. Janet Garcia. GTA 6. Will its Metacritic user score be higher or lower than GTA 5's, which is at 85?
Gosh, that user score is the Wild West.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to say anything too extreme because I know the users are listening, but will we higher or lower than 85? I also don't know, like that's now, that's now though. I don't know if it's fluctuated over time. God, I'm going to say lower.
Okay. There is a playable woman in it, if that's a factor. Okay. Let's see.
It was not a factor.
Okay. Hey, Janet, Kelsey Lewin's top 10 from 2026. How many games on her list did nobody else at MinnMax even boot up once?
On her, just 10? The top 10?
Mm-hmm.
I'm 2.
2. Wow. Okay. So we're going to fail her and everybody.
Yeah.
Will the next Playground, that freaky console that outsold the Xbox within the last year, Kyle, be a factor in any Jeff Keighley stream this year? Will he acknowledge it? Will they run a trailer for it in any Jeff Keighley stream?
No, because that company isn't interested in getting coverage from those kind of outlets,
Okay.
and they're not going to pay for that.
Okay, Kyle Hilliard, hotshot, Mr. Know-It-All over here, based on this episode. The first trailer for the Legend of Zelda movie, dropping in 2026. The movie's coming out in 2027, right? But first trailer, presumably, next year. Will it acknowledge through its editing that Link speaking is a big deal? Or will it be nonchalant and Link just be like, Zelda, to open the trailer with him calling out over a field or something?
I think it'll be pretty nonchalant. I don't think it'll be treated as like as a reveal in the trailer. Yeah.
It won't be
it's not going to be treated as a twist.
Okay, what if it's just like, okay, it's just like beautiful New Zealand fields, pastoral. You might see one bokoblin in the background or something. Fade
Smoke
to black.
everywhere.
Smoke more than you can possibly inhale. Fade to black, release date, and you just hear like, Zelda, I'm coming. Like, is like that to that level? That seems
I don't think we're going to hear that.
well, whatever he says. He says, I'm coming. I'm going to hunt you down.
Like you're saying, like he will speak off camera at the end of the trailer.
Yeah,
right?
and that
God,
makes it seem like it's a big deal.
I would think maybe
Where's
that
Haley
first
when you
trailer.
need her?
I really hope that's the line.
I wouldn't be surprised if that first trailer has zero dialogue at all from anybody.
Yeah,
and it's
okay.
just beauty shots.
All right, that's possible. That's possible.
You killed Janet.
I'm sorry, I killed Janet.
myself. It's just so funny. Like, what the
Jeffa, will you hear Kratos' voice in any trailer in 2026?
Sure.
Oh, you think so, huh? Okay, buddy. Okay. I could keep going all day.
He's going to say, I'm coming.
Okay,
It's gonna be the
Jeffa,
line.
please.
He's going to say Zelda, I'm coming for some reason.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
very weird.
it's going to be very
Does it
confusing.
say, Lord mercy, I'm about to bust? Anyway.
Lord mercy.
This isn't pew pew bang. Janet.
Hold on. That is so funny. Just the idea of Kratos, like who has killed gods, referring to Lord.
And had sex.
Yeah, he's done both.
Oh, we know that's
God
happened
sucks.
multiple times. I was there for a couple of those cases.
All right, weird. Kyle.
Yeah, we were all there. It was a
Yeah.
big part of our childhood
Yeah.
for some of us.
Okay, Janet, Pokemon Pokopia. Is it a hip take or common wisdom that it's a more interesting game than Pokemon Gen 10? The next generation.
Is it a hip?
Hip take or common wisdom?
I think that's like a hip take, and I don't think people are going to really have that take. I don't think the comparisons are going to happen, but
Sure.
I'll go hip for the sake of your binary.
Thank you. Jeff, if you didn't know that EA was under new ownership, would you be able to tell based on 2026?
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll be able to tell.
Okay. Kyle, how many MinnMax cohorts will have 2026's GOTY as their number one game on the list?
How many of us are there? There's like
9?
9? 6.
6. Okay. Jeff, how sick is it going to be when we're drifting around turns in the high octane action of Screamer releasing on March 26, 2026? Sponsored question.
So sick.
Okay, cool. Not really sponsored. Janet, Star Wars Galactic Racer. Will they charge you money to race in a pod racer?
So, like, you're saying there would be pod racing, but there's some paid pod racing? Is that what you're asking?
I'm saying pod racer only through DLC.
No.
As it currently stands, that trailer that we saw does not have any pod racers in it.
And I think it's gonna be a thing of like, so Bulba's like, do you like my stupid car? And then you can get DLC and put him back.
Pay me $10 and then whatever.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no.
Okay, all right, that's bold. Let's see, Janet, Bubsy 4D. Will you get out of bed for it?
Yeah. People said that people were really hot off the preview of it.
Okay.
So yeah, I would check that out.
Jeff, will a fighting game make the 210s 2026? We're talking 2XKO, Tokon. Okay. Kyle, Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. Will it make one joke about the state of Warner Brothers as a company?
No.
Okay. Jeff, what is the name of MinnMax's production assistant that I'm frantically trying to hire as we speak?
Can't tell you that. It's in your heart. You know the
right.
answer.
He doesn't know. I don't know either yet. Still going through applications. Thanks for your patience, everybody. All right, there's 2026. Whoo! In the bag. Piece of cake, everybody. That's it.
We should wear like 2020. I don't think they make them yet, but we need like 2026 New Year's.
Oh,
stuff.
that would be good.
Because they would have made them last year. I don't know why I thought they wouldn't exist.
Yeah, you're
That's
right.
what people wear.
Yeah, we got to wear those next year.
So
All
next year we got to do that.
Yep. Okay. Note to self. A piece of cake. Hey, Jeff, and Janet, there's a game called Dogpile that you all have been checking out. I was perplexed by this game. I saw it's like deck building, roguelike type thing. Okay, I don't know if I can get into this. And then booted it up and it's like, oh, it's like that combined with like a Suika game. Where it's just like you're dropping these things and they're popping and combining into bigger and bigger dogs. Jeff, you digging Dogpile?
I am. And Janet was the one who recommended it to me.
Yeah.
I had seen trailers and I was like, I don't know if I need a Suika roguelike game because I'm not a big Suika fan.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm going off of how you said it. But like the problem for me, I played a couple of rounds of Suika when it came out and I thought it was cool. And then it was like, I can't tell how another round is going to be different from my first one. You know, like the 100th round of Suika, it's all just going to feel the same to me. And what's great about Dogpile, besides all the things that you're dropping are cute little dogs, different breeds of dogs, is that it fixes that problem because it adds this entire layer of you are upgrading individual dogs. They all come as cards that you're putting into a deck. And so you're giving them all different abilities. And then you also collect dog tags, which are basically like jokers in a Balatro game. And so you're building out a way like how your setup is going to work for that specific game. And then you're just dropping them in like the gameplay is still just as straightforward as in the original Suika game, where it's just like, I'm going to try and make this dog fall on the same type of dog. And like, that's it. But everything else that is adding to it has kept me interested and kind of makes one run from the next feel different.
Yeah. It's weird to have that level of tension. It's almost like a Peggle-like tension of like, are these dogs going to touch? Are they going to combine? Is it going to keep racking up?
Yeah, and they really play into that with the mechanics that you have. I think what's really cool about Dogpile, besides the fact that it's like a fun genre blend, is that besides it being like a roguelike for roguelike haters, it's like, an easy pitch. But what's cool about it is that it is quite easy, but it's easy in a way that's still fun. And I'm not saying that like easy inherently like removes fun, but I think there are instances in games where like it's difficult to make something engaging that's also just really easy to play through. Like sometimes, kind of like to your point with the Suika games, Jeff, where it's like, okay, I've kind of seen all there is to see and you dipped out. I don't have a big merge background. I didn't actually play the Suika game, and I did play like the demo of this game called Pancito or Pancita Merge. It's like a bread merge game that I want to get back to because I do like that gameplay quite a bit in a way that I'm like, oh, this could be a new lane for me a bit. What's cool about Dogpile is it's designed to be simple and easy, and it leans into that in a way where it sort of presents to you like, hey, don't take strats too seriously because you kind of can't by the construction of the game. So like one example of that, and Jeff, I'm curious how this hit for you as the person who's heavy into the deck builder, is when you're editing your deck, it's done through this thing called like the dog wash, and it's 3 dogs / they're presented on cards at a time, which is like really unique. Usually it's like a 1 by 1 because it's a very meticulous, like you're leaning into one strat. But here And also like the things you can do in the dog wash, like it's not just like cut your deck. It's like upgrade, cut, or give a trait. And those 3 options are also swapping out. So sometimes you don't even have the option to cut from your deck in that instance, which is like way different than what you normally get from a deck builder where it is so much more meticulous. But that works because the game is constructed around that kind of looseness. But yeah, Jeff, I'm curious how that hit for you in terms of deck building.
I think that's a really cool and smart addition to it, because it makes what would be more simple binary choices of like, okay, well, do I want to cut this one specific card? Like you have 3 of them and they're randomly chosen. So sometimes it's like, well, okay, I have 1 really high one, but 2 really low ones. Is it worth cutting the higher one in order to get rid of the lower ones, which usually you want to get rid of the lower ones when you can. And so I like that it mixes up that thing. There are a couple new kind of interesting mechanisms like that. The one that you said that was your favorite was that you have to collect a certain number of dog bones after a couple hands. You know, like that's your threshold, like in a Luck Be a Landlord, Balatro kind of score chasing roguelike game. But what's interesting about it is if you don't get to that threshold, the game doesn't end. You just like you then have to choose between one of 2 negative traits that gets added to one of your dogs. That makes it a little more difficult, but then the game keeps on going. And that's just like a really smart twist on that kind of, because the ultimate way that you lose is if they get to the top, just like Suika,
right.
if they're over the top. And so it's nice to have that, like you're still trying to collect as many bones as you can and figure out a good synergy to make that happen, but it's not the end of the world if like the randomness just doesn't work out, because there's a ton of randomness in just dropping dogs into this thing. And it's another, there are a couple of those little smart choices where it's like, you guys really thought about this. This wasn't just, another cash in. What can we turn into a roguelike because of Balatro? They really
what's wild
did some
too
interesting things.
Is I watched Jeffem stream it like over on our Twitch channel, and like obviously 1, Jeffem's more strategic than me, and 2, when you stream you're more like thoughtful, just because you have to describe what you're doing, so you have to inherently think more. You're playing for an audience, and it was interesting seeing you like have so many, like go through so many more like processes in what you were doing, like looking at the point. Like I genuinely, you can play this game without even looking at the points, like straight up, which is like very unique to usually what you get from a deck builder, where it's like, well, I need to get this score. And there are also times I in my experience playing deck builders where you end up in a corner, you're screwed and it's just kind of over. This doesn't quite have that same level of stakes, like as Jeffem was pointing out. And because the thing we should mention is the objective of the game, it's not like just the points, it's really the getting the big dog in the yard. So like they combine together. So it's like if you have a little Chihuahua, he goes with the Chihuahua, you get a bigger dog, etc. So you're really just trying to get like a big dog in your yard. And that's all you're really trying to do. And everything else is just to create like a context for you to potentially make decisions on, the items you pick up or the cards you pick up or how you manipulate your deck. But there's this really cool layer of additional fun in this game because it has this almost tactile nature to it that is missing from a lot of other deck builders where like it's just about, hitting a number, whether it's like a score in Balatro or defeat, ending the HP in like a monster train or a Slay the Spire. But this is, it's about the doll. And that's what's like fun and cute about it and like different, where you can like, okay, I picked up a buff I love like the anti-gravity buff where they all like float around. And I'm like, cool, this is going to mix up the dogs to help me like combine them to make the biggest dog. Or I'm going to focus on making all of them small because that's really what can like mess you up. So yeah, it's really cool. It's really fresh. It's very pleasing. This to Jeff and to steal from you. This was I have to go to bed, but I'm up late night playing, and that's not my vibe at all. I'm sleep. If I didn't get to it, I didn't get to it. Yeah. You could have Jack and Daxter on that Steam Deck, and not that I would, because the law. But you could have whatever on that Steam Deck, and I would not be up to play it. Like this was that game for me. And I've beaten it like 3+ times, and I don't think that's because I'm a strategy master. I think it's just a simple, engrossing, like great game to just check out. Like I really, really like this one a lot.
That's sweet. Yeah, it's sitting at overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam there, and it's just on Steam at this point for Dogpile. But that's cool. I'm glad it's working for you folks. Great game on Steam Deck too. The artist here So it's like a bunch of different developers. So it's Studio Folly, Toot Games, and Foot. But I was looking into like, who are these teams? What have they done?
The Gubbins people, right?
I didn't see that in there. On Steam, at least. It wasn't listed, but it could be, yeah. But I was just looking at like the Toot Games. They're releasing a game this year called My Arms Are Longer Now. And it's got like a similar art style look to it, but it is the most jarring, confusing trailer where it's just like you're just basically trying to steal stuff with a super stretchy, gross arm as you're like sneaking around a train to grab stuff. But excellent looking game. But Dogpile is the name of that one.
Gubbins is Studio Folly, so yeah.
Oh, it is.
Some of the Gubbins people, and it has a very similar art style, and that's a word game that is also quite good if people are looking for more word games. I think that one, I don't know if it's only on mobile or if they've since ported it, but
yeah, it looks like it's only mobile. This wasn't popped up on Steam, but cool, good to know. All right, Dogpile, name of that sweet game there. Hey, Kyle Hilliard, do you know how this whole thing operates?
I think it's Patreon.
I think. Look at you go. Patreon.com, everybody. Patreon.com/MinnMax with 2 N's. Jump in, find the tier that's right for you. Thanks to everybody for jumping in. $2 tier, $5 tier. Those people who jumped up to the $10 tier, extra huge thank you to you. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you, of course, to our biggest supporter, the people at home. Followed just narrowly by I'm 8-Bit, who's been around for years and years and years. Check out their wonderful online store in the month of January. You can use the promo code Champagne Dreams for 10% off of everything under $100 in their wonderful online store. I promise if you're a dork, and if you're listening to this, you might be a little bit dorky, go to the wonderful online store, find something great, use that promo code Champagne Dreams, 10% off of everything under $100. And you should help support I Am 8-Bit because they support the MinnMax community in a big way by shipping out a prize each and every week. Whoever submits a great question on Patreon for community questions is in the running. You support us at that $2 tier. You can submit questions. We choose our number one favorite question and they win a prize. And of course, this week they win the Artful Escape final soundtrack. Just a couple of vinyls shipped right to your house. How sweet is that? So look alive, everybody. And with that, Kyle Hilliard, could we turn you into Maddy Myers, please?
Yeah, that sounds like an upgrade, frankly.
Oh, you self-defeating worm. All right, thanks, Kyle. Bye. Maddy Myers, welcome to the MinnMax show.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Thank you for being here. How do you prefer? Is it primary now? Just Mothership's Maddy Myers? Triple Click has been left in the dust. How do you prefer to be introduced?
Well, I think for this group, it's probably Triple Click's Maddy Myers, because I believe we announced Triple Click on MinnMax way back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
So people might remember that. That would be like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, something like that. Right? I know. Let's not talk about how old we are.
That's so weird.
We
to
look
think
great. But yeah, it's Triple Click very much not left in the dust. If you're listening to this, you probably like podcasts, so you can check out Triple Click, which I co-host with Jason Schreier and Kirk Hamilton. It's a video game podcast, and I would say our selling game point is that we are 1 hour long every week. That's all.
That's interesting.
So if you ever, I know, isn't that so different? That's really our niche. Is that we were like, what if there's a gaming podcast that was just a tight hour, and we didn't go on and on, and people. There's a lot of people that wish it were longer, and we will not accommodate them. But
hell yeah!
If anybody watching this or listening to this also likes to read, then I'm Mothership's Maddy Myers, because Mothership is a new website I'm making that will have text on it, articles. You got to read them. That's the format, folks. So I'm just promoting it on a podcast and video format.
I think that's the right place to do it. Yeah. And if anyone's confused, reading is like the stuff that's in like YouTube descriptions. Just imagine that, but like standalone.
Like the subtitles that you might be seeing right now if this got pulled as a clip.
Right.
What you're doing as you're reading those subtitles. What if that was all you were doing and you weren't seeing anybody's faces? That's kind of what Mothership's going to be.
Well, I want to support that financially.
It's exciting. It's new. It's fresh.
Let me make your job easier. Let me parrot your own lines back to you. When you describe the new website Mothership that you're making with Zoe Hanno and a bunch of other folks over there, would you say that it is Teen Vogue, but for video games?
I would. So folks might remember, if they've followed me for a really long time, before I worked for Polygon and Kotaku, I worked for a site called The Mary Sue that was actually co-founded by one of my old Polygon coworkers, Susanna Polo. And that site was actually acquired by Gamers Group in 2021. And a bunch of people got laid off. But when it was in its heyday, in the Susanna era, it was like a classic women's magazine style, but for geeky stuff. And something like that had never existed before. And it was really exciting. And it was one of my favorite jobs that I ever had to this day. And it's a super different website now. And I just feel like there isn't a website right now that's doing what the Mary Sue used to do. And so I decided to create one, and that's what Mothership is. And we're starting by just covering games. That includes tabletop games, if people are curious, not just a video game site. But hopefully someday we can expand out and have an entertainment section like the Mary Sue used to and like Polygon used to. But we've had some really early interest because we're doing a pre-launch sale right now. You can get 15% off a subscription forever for life. But if you're not sure whether you're going to like it or not, maybe you're really scared of the reading thing that I was describing, you can wait until January 26th, which is when the whole site launches in full, and you can try reading some articles and see if you like them or not. Cool. And we got a bunch of Polygon people involved. Susanna Polo is going to write a story for our launch, and Nicole Carpenter and Nicole Clark are writing stories for our launch. And we got a couple other like best of freelancers, like Grant Stoner, award-winning investigative reporter, is going to write us a story. And Nico Deo, who used to freelance for Polygon, is writing a story for us too. So the launch lineup's pretty sick, and I'm really excited about it. And just like, I love editing and working with all of these people. So I'm really excited to keep doing that and have a website again that I work for again.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah. So you can go to mothership.blog right now if you want to check it out, get in the whole ecosystem for the big launch, before the Mothership takes off. So are you sick of that? Like when you envision the Mothership, I think of like the Close Encounters Mothership. I don't know if there's like a Mothership in your mind.
There is a Mothership in my mind. Okay, so I don't know if anybody out there's a StarCraft person, but yes. I'm a Protoss player, so that's the kind of Mothership that I'm picturing, is when you like fully upgrade your air support. There's like that huge ship. Yes. That's what I'm picturing, but I think everybody has something different in mind, and that's the beauty of words.
Perfect.
Is that you just form a picture in your mind.
And some people think of like Joe Rogan's Comedy Club, and they're welcome as well. However you define the word Mothership.
Who are those people?
They're out there. So are you ready to answer some community questions? Some might pertain back to Mothership, just for a heads up.
Let's do it. Okay. Let's bring Jeff and Janet back in. I've been talking for too long.
Come on, guys, let's all answer some questions. Okay, so Christian Jimenez writes in. They say, hey, cohorts and Maddie, with Metroid Prime 4 getting mixed to good reviews, that's kind of where we're at, yeah. How many quote-unquote average games does it take for a franchise to go down a notch? Also, what comes next for it? Should Metroid stick to 2D only? Have Retro redeem itself with a Metroid Prime 5? Maddie, I know you're a Metroid queen, and you're probably sick of talking about this game.
I love this question because the implication is already so spicy, because it's like, wow, Metroid's had so many mid games. Is this one too far? Like, I want to know what this person thought of Metroid Dread, a widely acclaimed Metroid game.
I feel like they were speaking about Prime specifically, right? Like, that's how I read this question.
Yeah, which I guess is fair and maybe is worth updating people on. Like, Janet's referring to the fact that Metroid Prime 2 and 3 it was kind of like a descending staircase, critically, where it was like the first Prime, people were like, oh, this is sick. Samus Aran, but in first person, that's awesome. And then Metroid Prime 2 was like, this has some weird hard parts. I don't know if I love everything about it. And then 3 was like, what if you were traveling between different planets? Like, kind of picture the desert in Prime 4, but like you're like driving your ship around to different planets. Right. And then Prime 4 is what it is. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like I need to defend Prime's honor, but I don't know if I can. I got to admit, it's been a rough ride.
But at the same time, like, you survived Other M, you know? And it's like, a Metroid Prime 4... You're right, you died back in those wee days. I'm sorry to tell you, Maddie, this is your tortured hell of an existence. No, but like Metroid Prime 4, it's like...
What?
Is there a part of it where it's like, as a Metroid fan, it's like, you still enjoy playing the game? It's not like it's agony, even if it's like, well, not exactly everything I hope for. You know, it's like, it's fun to see Samus be a badass still. And there's like some cool puzzles in there, you know?
Yeah, I do think it's tough, though, that it's not as good as it could be. And that you're driving around in the desert, just the loneliness of the desert with just 1,000 people on the radio talking to you to keep you company. I mean, there's some bits of Prime 4 that are such a tough hang that it makes me wonder if we'll ever get another Prime game. But hey, I didn't think we were ever going to get another Prime game in the first place.
Right.
So there's that.
I think the answer is 2 on average.
You need 2 average games before it's done.
And we're way past
on
2
average 2,
on
not
Prime.
average, but like 2 bad. Because the question said bad, right? It didn't say average. Like
it says average. It says average.
Oh.
Yeah.
That
To go down a notch.
Maybe we up it to 3
I think it's probably
average.
It's probably still 2 to me on average for most franchises. I think Prime is unique in that, like, it's interesting hearing y'all describe it as like a staircase, because I've from my perception, I haven't played the Prime games. I see it more as like a yo-yo. Like everyone agrees 1's the best, 2's the dip down, and then 3's a slight raise above 2. For most people I've talked to,
It depends.
maybe none of those people are here, which is fair. But
well, they're so different that I think that's part of what you're seeing in the critical response, Janet, is that so I feel like what's really a weird piece of Maddy lore is that the first Metroid game I ever played was Metroid Prime 3, which
funky.
is crazy because it was at the time considered one of the worst Metroid games because Other M hadn't come out yet. So this is like a game came out in like 2007, 2008, something like that. So I'm still in college and I'm like, let me check out Metroid. And like my gaming backstory at that point was just playing a bunch of first person shooters and fighting games and being really irritating. So I was like, oh, this is like a pretty cool first person shooter. And like, I kind of like this. I'm going to check out the rest of these Metroid games. So like, if you start with Prime 3, then you're like, this is kind of cool. And then you play all the rest of them and you're like, wow, it's only up from here. So
that's going to be me when I get to 4, because I haven't played any of the Prime games.
That's a great way to go. Maybe start with 4, but then you'll have no preconceived notions. You might love it.
I enjoyed my job. I didn't finish it. I didn't play more than when we did our Game of the Year debate and stuff. And so I'm like a little over halfway. But it was like, I'm enjoying my time with it. And like, I appreciate your triple.
Exactly where you're at might be
okay. All right. Before I'm in the grind for crystals.
No.
But like, I appreciated your triple click first conversation about it. Like specifically because Kurt came in to like defend the hell out of the soundtrack. And even like he played a little clip in that episode and was like, oh, that's right. I forgot even this quickly how good that soundtrack is in Metroid Prime 4. Like it should be celebrated for some things, you know?
It's so good. Yeah. It's so good. And I have definitely listened to the soundtrack even after completing it. But especially that last fourth of the game, you're riding around that desert a lot.
Okay.
Because at that point, you're like, am I going to 100% it? Well, I got to go get a bunch of power-ups. A lot of desert rides, you know, maybe you're putting on a podcast. Maybe you're choosing who's on the radio of your own mind in those moments.
Choosing, yeah.
Maybe that's improving the game.
But outside of Christian's, Metroid slot here, thinking about it for like other franchises, like how many average games before the entire franchise sinks. And it's like, I think a Mass Effect and like Andromeda, I would call a pretty average game. And I feel like in this day and age, people are like, well, Mass Effect, good luck making a good one. It's like, I somebody who really, really loved 3, I feel like they've had one average game and suddenly like the entire reputation is tarnished. I know it's larger complexities of EA and BioWare at the time, but it's still just weird how sometimes they can just take one before it's like, well, good luck making another good one.
Yeah. But the interesting thing about this question though is that like, sure, it drops a notch, but that doesn't stop me from being excited, or it wouldn't stop me from going back to something if another one came out and people were like, no, it's good again. Like that. So I'm a little weird. The idea of like it dropped a notch is a little weird for me, because it's like, well, that doesn't mean Metroid's out of the race here. Like they just have to make a good one again, and everybody will be right back for it.
Yeah.
Also, like, I think you actually in a weird way have infinite chances to earn a comeback story status. Like you can put out like 6 bad games in a franchise, but then if you put out a good one and everyone hears about that, people will be like, oh my God, can you believe like X thing is good again? And then that's the story, is that it's like, I mean, I can't think of a good example of this, but like this is a bad example, but like, okay, like for example, Fallout 3 completely changed everything about Fallout. I actually like Fallout 1 and 2, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like it's such a completely different game that like that was part of the conversation around it, was that it was like, okay, new studios taking on this IP, totally changing everything about it. That's the narrative and it's so exciting and different. I think that can always happen, especially with like a quote unquote tired franchise. A new studio or totally new direction can be what revitalizes everything about it and wins everyone back.
I think, Resident Evil is a good example, right? Like after Resident Evil 6, and then it's like, hey, nope, Resident Evil 2,
totally
like all these games,
example.
everyone's like, yep, bingo.
That's a perfect example because like Resident Evil, I mean, even Resident Evil 5, like we don't need to talk about it.
It shall not be mentioned.
Bad game. There were a lot of misses, but then like RE2 remake, like it's like, okay, yeah, we're back. We're remaking games. We're doing weird stuff. Chris is really big now.
Yep. Ooh, chat, backstage pass chat. Yeah, Sonic Mania, another good example of like, yeah, as franchise is never down and out,
Sonic's just so hot and cold though. Like that's
I
like
know,
that's the
I'm
Wild
like,
West
Sonic
of opinions.
Tough one to bring up, actually. I don't know.
Have you ever seen a Sonic fan leave? I haven't.
Yeah, has Sonic
That's nothing wrong about that. Loyalty is a very nice trait to have.
Yeah, exactly. We got, who is this? Oh, Catherine, they write in. They said, congratulations on creating Mothership. As a woman always looking for more diverse voices in games media, the site is the best news I've heard in months, so thank you.
Aw.
No question.
Every time we get a message like that, I'm like, yeah, I'm really glad, because we got like private reinforcement before we announced it, and I was like, what if only my 6 friends read this website? I guess that would be fine. Really cool to have actual other people I don't know be like, no, I'm really interested in this.
Yeah.
So thanks to this person.
Kenneth Hamilton writes in, says, congrats on Mothership, Maddie and team. If you could teleport back, let's say in like the Protoss Mothership, if you could teleport back and speak to your younger self, presumably, what game franchise would you tell them to A, invest more time into, and B, invest less time into?
So like I said earlier on the call, I invested a lot of time into Counter-Strike, and that's fine.
That's a good call.
That's just who I was.
Yeah.
But I do think that I carried a lot of water for like the Call of Duty franchise as well. And like, just I played a lot of milsims during a specific time period in my life. And I think I could have dialed that back and maybe checked out the Metroid games a little sooner in my life. I also feel like I was very critical of RPGs as a whole when I was young, because I was like really capital C, capital G cool girl in my youth, and was like, I don't play girly games. And like, that was really damaging. And as a young, older person, I was like, actually, a lot of these games with more creative choices and storytelling are really awesome. And I wish that I had checked them out more when I was younger and not been so intensely insecure about my status as a gamer.
Right. I mean, you're kind of in the dream spot, the hot seat. Because like, I feel like everyone else has the angle of like, oh, I wish I got more into, at least I do, I wish I got into more hardcore PC stuff growing up. Like, I loved RTS games and stuff, but like even Civilization, I was like, too complicated for me. No thanks. And now in retrospect, like I wish I grounded, or something like Counter-Strike, when now it's like, oh, it's, Counter-Strike Go is still one of the biggest games in the world. And if you having that in your back pocket. You didn't play
it when you were 19 years old. So it's kind of too late.
Yeah, right? But it's like you're automatically cool if you choose one of those games that now is just ballooning. I think so.
You're not.
A little bit. If like, I would feel, cool. I would feel better at my job if I got really into Dota in 2005. Like so many of my friends did, And I feel like I missed that boat.
Yeah. 2005 was when to get into Dota. I'll back you up there.
Okay.
I feel like if you got into it now, it would also be kind of funny. Like if you were like, guys, you're into MOBAs?
It would be a hoot. Yeah.
Like this emerging new art form in games? MOBAs?
I am watching that. There's a show that Jacob Geller recommended. Is it called Players? I think that's all about like League of Legends, And so it's like, I feel like through a TV show, I'm getting more into League than I've ever gotten into my life. So I'm halfway there, I think.
Yeah, I heard that show was really good.
Yeah.
I need to check it out.
Yeah, it's good so far. But Jeff and Janet, welcome to the podcast. What would you like to tackle?
Yeah, give us some answers.
Hi,
I want to hear
having
some
me.
Jeff and Janet lore.
I also would pick RPGs in general. Even now it's a big gap for me just because they're so Oh, those games are so long. And I take forever to play regularly lengthened games
Yeah.
is the thing. I'll be in like an Insomniac game for an extra 20 hours for no reason. So it's like when you
They
scale
make
that
you
up.
stay in there. They put all the stuff on the map. What are you supposed to do?
So
Not
when you
check it
scale
out?
that up, that's how you hit that 198 hour stream Persona 5 Royal, okay? And that's just too much time to do anything. Yeah, so I wish I did that more. I did play Golden Sun as a kid, and I feel like that was my, here's a cool game I can say I played as a kid that isn't just obvious like Mario. What I could have played less, Mario Party 4 for the GameCube. Look, I know you liked it, and you were like, what, 9 or something? So like have your fun, I guess, but like maybe check out literally any other game. Also, Dark Cloud isn't that hard. You open the door in the field. That's how you keep playing it. Because that
Correct.
happened to me and my brother. We got stuck like the first 10 minutes into that game and said, what? Where do you go? There's like no, people say, today everyone needs signposting. No, I needed it then. I just never played more Dark Cloud. So yeah, I wish I had a little bit more of spread my genre wings a bit, but I don't know. It just never kind of came up outside of Pokemon for RPGs and Golden Sun for some reason.
Ooh, yeah. Interesting.
Yeah, I think I would have told my kid self to get into PlayStation earlier.
Yeah.
Because I PlayStation 3 was the first PlayStation. Like I went from Nintendo up to 60, through 64, and then the GameCube came out, and I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again. Like I suffered through cartridges on N64. Just choose a CD as your medium, and then they went mini CDs, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. And I went to Xbox, and just kind of missed those first two generations of PlayStation, which were formative, I guess, for everybody else. And I don't have that nostalgia built in that everyone else had. And then I'd say like earlier, like get back into PC gaming earlier, just in terms of now that I like the indie gaming that I've had on PC games over the last 2 or 3 years. I wish I would have been more hip to that, 10 years ago and kind of not that I need to build up my Steam library any more than it already is right now. But like I kind of missed the boat on that and burnt myself out on AAA for longer than I needed to.
Yeah.
Relatable. Yeah.
The idea of like, not getting into PlayStation games, like, yes, it's a big important gap in gaming history, but it's like, I think there's something kind of refreshing about coming in fresh and not having that
Not
baggage.
caring.
I don't know if not caring is a phrase. Like, I don't know. It's weird because thinking about this question, it's like, I didn't get my first Nintendo console was a GameCube. And maybe it's just me being stubborn, but I kind of like the fact that I get high in my own supply being like, I can be an objective critic of Mario because it's not like defining my childhood, like
Mario?
Yeah.
Mario's the thing that you're like, this needs objectivity. Maybe people have Mario bias.
Well, no,
and
you have
we
your
can cut that
notepad.
out.
So wait, since you're the only pure of heart one, Mario
Yeah.
64, is that a good video game playing today, 2026?
Great question. Well, I used to rent that one from Family Video, and so it reminds me of my 10th
Wow,
birthday.
sounds
You
like you
are
aren't
freaking
objective at all. Wow. The truth comes
Look who had a childhood
out.
after all.
Yeah, sorry, you got me on that
Busted.
one case, but it's
He was
some of them were
sneaking
pretty
Mario
good.
on the side, like that gif of that NBA player eating wings on the. I don't know if you remember that happening. I forgot who that was,
But on that note, I do think like it was refreshing for like the 2D Mario games. Like I've had a good time, finishing Mario World, Mario 3 and stuff. But it was refreshing to in college when I like played all those through, realizing like Yoshi's Island I think is the best out of any 2D Mario. I know it's ambiguous in the timeline
Any?
type thing. It's my favorite 2D Mario game. Yeah.
I can't even engage with this. There's so much
Yeah, it's
Mario.
best not
that,
to-
it's like we didn't come here to debate the best Mario.
You're
I didn't
right.
come
You're right.
prepared.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. I needed to.
But
warn
we
you,
all know
warn
it's
you.
not the one Ben said, right?
Yeah.
Hang on,
Yeah.
Janet. You're
I
with
think
me.
I think all agree on
love
that.
Yoshi's
Sounds like a
Island. I think
crazy
Yoshi's Island is a
statement. Like-
fantastic game.
Okay.
But also, that's not even a Mario game, really. I know it's in the name, but they were slapping anything to sell what they need to sell. They had to put a roof over their heads.
Sure. If you count it in that lineage as Mario World 2, which is on the box, it is my favorite. But would
Which
you
no
put
one does.
Saying it's your favorite is very different than saying it's the best. And I think
Yeah.
that saying it's your favorite is a perfectly reasonable thing to say. But I feel like Super Mario Brothers 3, like what are we doing here? Like
Yeah.
there's so many other just formative Marios. that we gotta.
You're being
Again,
too
that's not why we're
subjective.
here. But
Yeah,
I want to
you're
go
right,
back in
you're
time
right.
and make Ben play Mario so he
Right.
can
Yeah,
not be
play more Mario.
subjective.
so he's too objective.
You're right. I'm a
He's too
robot
high
from
on the
hell.
sense of lie.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It's like if somebody was like, I've never read Shakespeare, which is why Shakespeare in Love is the best Shakespeare play. And I'm just like, I don't know how to engage with this statement.
Yeah,
like,
you're
it's a
right.
perfectly fine movie, but like, what's going on here? I'm saying Mario's Shakespeare.
I agree. You know, I was thinking about Shakespeare
kinda
recently.
is.
You know what's weird about Shakespeare? And I think, you know, a lot of our kind of lack of knowledge about history and stuff is like, we're always like, amazing poet. Has anyone that you know, do you think read any other poetry from the 15th century?
Yeah, probably for class.
I doubt it. I doubt it even for class. Unless you're like a
Yeah,
historical
but it's
literature
like, okay,
major.
like Marlowe, like are people out here reading all these other contemporary plays and are they comparing them properly?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Nah, there's not
Like,
enough time.
where's the Yoshi's Island to Shakespeare's Mario?
But you
It's kind of
also-
what you're getting
The
at. getting
Tempest.
at.
But I think now we're talking about canon, which has many problems, right? Like literary canon. But I also think there's like video game canon that is like implied. Which
Agreed.
like I get away with a lot because I happen to have played the games you need to play from the GameCube, the games from the PS2. But when I was a kid, we only had literally like max 15 games per console. Ever.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Yep.
in the whole generation. So it's like, and okay, one of those was like a sports game. Well, 3 of them were sports games, you know, like because NBA Street and NFL Street, that's 2 right there, you know? So, but it's like, okay, no, I happen to cover these bases. So whenever there's discussions, like people are only ever talking about like 5 GameCube games. Every now and then someone wants to get cute and say Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg, which I do want to get to. It does sound cool, but that's kind of it. Like you only have to play like 10 games and you know the whole console. And that's kind of true.
For GameCube, it kind of is, yeah.
I think it's true for a lot of consoles if we're just
Yeah.
talking about like really big picture, like 2026 video game canon.
Yeah.
But I wonder what those games are. I think it'd be stressful to try to figure them out. But like, especially the further away we get from those older consoles, like games that felt probably really important to talk about in 2004. Do the kids of today really need to play them all? I don't know. I don't know. Also, it's kind of cool that video games have been around for long enough now that we can actually have those conversations.
Yeah.
Like when I was a teenager, there weren't enough video games total. So
Yeah.
like now it's like we're talking about, 50, 60 years of pretty freaking good stuff coming out. So we can actually, have a conversation about what the true canon of games is and actually care about it.
Yeah.
The wings thing was Russell Westbrook, by the way. I found who was eating the wings on the court side.
Thank
So that was important that I got that out there.
Everyone can sit down at home.
Thank you.
Yo Adrian writes in. They say, while snowboarding over the holidays, I heard some banging Led Zeppelin that was totally new to me. You're living a cool life, Yo Adrian.
What year was he doing this in?
Yeah, speaking of 2004,
Yeah,
like,
what's
whoa,
happening?
okay.
They say, this is probably because my middle school listening was dominated by their compilation album, which was called Mothership for the Zeppelin greatest hits.
I love that. That's what the site's named after.
Oh, smart. Instead of individual albums. For Maddie and the gang, what are your thoughts on greatest hits albums? And is there room in the gaming space for a similar type of curation?
I feel like Kirk would kill me if I didn't say that greatest hits albums are an abomination and that people should be listening only to tracks in their purest
Kirk's not listening
intended.
to
Yeah,
this.
let him go.
So
He's
what
fine.
would
I don't-
you say? We won't tell.
If I really think that, I think I might be fine with compilation albums, actually. And I'm especially for bands that were playing music before I was born. I think they're pretty great because then you're like, well, actually, what were the Led Zeppelin tracks, or the Queen tracks, or the Van Halen tracks? Pick your poison of whatever.
Poison tracks.
Yeah, Poison tracks, for example. Whatever band you're kind of thinking of, where you're like, oh, this is like a band from early on, or maybe when I was a toddler or before I was born that I want to check out. I think a compilation album is a good way to go. But then you're gonna also end up in kind of the exciting situation that this person is describing, where maybe there was actually a really sick track that you never had the opportunity to hear. But how do you know? How do you know? But really what their question is should games have compilation albums?
Yes.
And they kind of do. Fighting games do pretty often. now, especially like those old like fighting game compilations that Capcom's been putting out recently.
Yeah, sure.
Where like it's like compilations of like, you know, old Street Fighter games, and like they kind of put them all together, and it's like all in one package, and you like select them, and then everybody complains about how the netcode sucks or whatever.
Right.
You know, those things. And I think those are a good idea, especially for older games.
Yeah, I think you're right. Like I immediately thought of the Master Chief Collection, which had like options in there for like, I want to play all the best Warthog levels, and you could jump between all the different Halos to play the Warthog levels. Like that's really cool. But even, you know, in the era of, you know, big companies struggling to get games out on the usual cadence and stuff, like what if Sony was just like, hey, here's a release for this year, and it's just all of the best moments from PlayStation games. And it is like literally almost like a greatest hits, where it's just like, hey, here's like a 10-hour campaign that you can pay $50 for or whatever, but it's going to jump between all these different games.
It's like I'm
and they're
Spider-Man and I'm Joel. Is that what you're talking about?
That's insane.
You'd buy
like,
it.
It's like an Oscars montage.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
you're
no,
like, you're like playing as Spider-Man for a second, and then suddenly you're like Gustave and Claire Obscure.
Yes,
And then
yes.
suddenly you're freaking Mario. Like,
and
what
you'd
is
have
happening?
Mario maybe
And
is a
it
stretch.
and it's only 1 terabyte download.
Yeah, and like I don't know how like they would work for like, I don't know, you think with the SSD maybe they could load up
Yeah,
all
I
these
guess it can't be Mario. It has
executables.
to only be PlayStation games, right? Like
It'd be
I'm
kind
like
of fun though, because it'd be like,
emotionally by this idea.
but it'd be fun to have like no context, you know? So it'd be like just jumping into like the final fight in, I don't know, you know,
A Final
Legend of
Fantasy VII
Dragoon.
remake.
Sure,
whatever.
something like that. Yeah, and you're just like jumping through. But if maybe it was focusing on action games, like there's something that'd be fun about it in like a WarioWare, like WarioWare's 9-volt levels, you know, where it's all old Nintendo stuff like that, but PlayStation, but blown out to an entire game. I think there's something that'd be fun there.
It is
Maybe
kind of
just
nauseating to think
demos.
about.
Oh, it'll make you sick, but
Yeah, I
wouldn't it be
was thinking
fun,
demos
nasty?
as well. Yeah, it'd be cool if there was like at the end of the PS4 they had like they used to have greatest things get labeled greatest hits.
Yeah,
but we
remember
don't have,
that?
like a greatest hits album. Yeah, the red cover. Who could forget? And it's like, oh, do you have that one? Or like, it's like that was like the brokey one if you're a collector. But I'm like, I'm not above the red greatest hits. It was $20 at my store. What am I gonna throw that money away? I think. Yeah, I would love to see like a bunch of demos or something for like the best games. I think that would be the best way to do it. In like a picture, like, you know, when you get like a good like Blu-ray, it has like the Blu-rays and then also the DVDs, like that kind of thing, like a multi-disc. That would be fun. The Greatest Hits album is interesting though, because modern technology has sort of made it like, do they even come out anymore? And I'm genuinely asking, because now with like streaming, there's different ways they present like an artist's greatest hits. So like when you look up The Weeknd, like at least on Apple Music, they have essential albums, and it's like their curatorial or algorithmic determination of what are those that artist's biggest albums. And then they also have essentials, and it's a playlist, and that's kind of more free form because it can get updated. And sometimes I do use that when I'm checking out like an artist and I'm like, hey, what are kind of the hits, or how do I get to know this artist? I will just either go to the essentials on Apple Music, or even just like top songs and let it autoplay and just kind of start seeing what's in there. I don't know if that's like a travesty to like other people, but you know, I don't know.
I know
just
you're
checking
so
stuff out.
right. You're so right. That is kind of how Spotify and Apple Music and probably other services, although those are the ones I'm familiar with, but that's really how they orient artist pages now, to such a high degree that even you would have to specifically seek out an album on those platforms.
Yeah.
Like if you're just going to an artist's page, they're going to be like, here's their most played track right at the top. And then they're going to just autoplay a selection for you from there that's going to be based on the algo. It's not going to be. So it's essentially a version of a greatest hits.
Yeah.
And also, artists now are defaulting towards releasing singles over and over.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's only like our biggest artists, if you will, that are still putting out albums and like announcing it as an album. But yeah, it's a weird time. I feel like games don't have like a comparable change in distribution model other than like obviously the changes that we've all seen with like Steam and itch.io and stuff that happened years ago, that we've kind of gotten used to those changes in distribution models. But music has had a really significant change in distribution more recently. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting.
Thinking about the Led Zeppelin Mothership album, I was thinking, like, what is this image I have in my mind? I was like, Boston's album, their first album, also a good iconic Mothership. If you remember the look of that one, it's like the guitar Mothership flying through space. If you need more Mothership energy and
and clearly I'm pulling from like 80s imagery, 80s metal imagery. I thought I was pulling from the Protoss designs, but I wasn't. I was wrong.
That's right.
It was all just bands that Gen Xers are into that weirdly I'm not into, but I was still pulling from them without knowing.
The Juan One writes in, it's the MinnMax crew. Meta just announced that the shutdown of both Sanzaru and Twisted Pixel, leaving only Camouflage as the Meta VR team remaining. Isn't that weird? They killed Ready at Dawn last year. Who else did they kill last year? So they're asking, is the future for VR gaming officially dead, with both PlayStation and Meta basically leaving the market at this point? Can we call the time of death?
Yeah. I mean, I can't play these games. They make me nauseated. So I shouldn't weigh in. I can't play a single one.
Yeah, I mean...
You can't call it yet.
I can't call it.
I didn't say it has a good life, but it's still alive. Because, I mean, the Steam is coming out with another headset.
That's true. You're right.
And again, I'm not saying it was a good life. It was never a good life. I'll just go on record and say it. I know people think that we're a little bit maybe overly harsh on VR. And to their credit, I am too lazy to put the damn thing on a lot of times, even though I have had some good experiences. But I don't know. I don't want to do it. I could have $1 million, a room dedicated to VR. I still think I wouldn't do it. And I think that makes me a bad person. There, you heard it. I said it. We can all move on.
It doesn't, though. It doesn't.
I feel bad about it, though. Like, I'm so lazy.
In hindsight, like, creating a device where you strap screens an inch from your eyeballs is not the direction that people want to go in this day and age. Like we all have like the vision, like the 80s vision of like, okay, VR is the next thing. People aren't looking to disassociate themselves from their surroundings or their loved ones even more than smartphones already have for us. I think I just never saw it as being the next thing that it was being hyped to be.
Yeah, when Kyle Bossman was guest hosting and I was on paternity leave, like he said something that was so simple yet so profound. But he's talking to Mark McDonald about like pushing Lumina's Arise and VR and stuff. And Kyle Bossman just said like, sometimes when I'm watching a video on my phone, I watch it vertically and then it's just the small YouTube thing on like the top third of the screen. And I'm too lazy to turn it horizontal. So it takes it the full screen. And like just the fact that that's how lazy we are as a society.
He's so real for that.
I know. But it's like, that's no one's going to go put on the VR headset when we're that lazy now for our entertainment.
Well, you got to swipe down, hit the like never lock. And then I got to remember to relock it on my iPhone. So much. Come on. What are we? He's pretty funny for that though.
It's very true. But hang in there, Camouflage. Curious to see what Valve does as well. Luis writes in, they say, Maddy, in a male-dominated games industry where even well-intentioned, women-focused projects have struggled to reach their intended audience, what will Mothership do differently to attract women and marginalized gamers? And how will your own experiences with harassment in games media shape how you protect your team and your community? Well, there's a lot there for you to chew on.
Yeah, I'll answer the second one first because it's actually easier to answer, ironically. So at this point, there are a lot more digital tools available for preventing doxing, and they're expensive, which is part of why I'm like, hey, subscribe to Mothership so we can help pay our bills. But they are available. There are many, many services now that allow you to make it really difficult for people to find your personal address, which, I was a working journalist during Gamergate, and I remember how tough that was. And I didn't know about services like Delete Me back then. A lot of people didn't know about them. So my address was really easy to find back then. And my personal website was easy to hack. And I remember people tried to hack it one night, and I had to I was at a friend's house and I had to be like, can I use your computer? Because my phone's going off and I need to figure out how to deal with this. It was a terrible night. But now I know so much more about digital security, and a lot of my reporters know way more about it. So just dealing with that is huge. And then also just from a further vantage point, harassment will happen. I get harassed when I write something controversial. And I think the difficult part of that is having people in your life who you can talk to about it, and just having that environment available for our Mothership contributors. Right now we have a private Discord just for the freelancers that I mentioned. And we're having like a subscriber only Discord that like anybody who subscribes can be part of that larger Discord. But we're also going to have a private channel in there for our contributors where they can go and be like, hey, like, just hypothetically, let's say Asmongold, for example, finds something and decides he's going to give somebody a bad time about it. They've got a place to go that isn't public social media.
Yeah.
Where they can talk about it, because the more you post about it publicly, the more your content creator who's trying to make a living out of mocking you and frankly not producing anything original themselves is going to really have a heyday with that. So I think like those two, that's sort of like a two-pronged approach. And it's also how we operated at the Mary Sue, is that we had spaces at work where people could go and just be like, I'm fucking losing it today. Sorry, am I allowed to swear on this?
Whatever you want.
Yeah. And so that was really important. The first question, how do you target women in general? I think this is like a really complicated, multifaceted question. That's also like a larger question about like, how do you find your readers, period? And we're trying a bunch of different things. We're going to have a pretty significant presence for Mothership on TikTok and Instagram, which, at least in my own anecdotal experience, is what all of my female friends use. And something that I've thought about a lot is, so my wife is in some ways like my kind of ideal Mothership reader because she had a really different gaming trajectory than I did. Like I started out like this like very defensive, like, yeah, I'm a girl, but I play games. And like that was really my life. Until later in my 20s, I kind of realized that was a ridiculous posturing thing I was doing and that maybe it was okay to play RPGs sometimes. She was somebody who on our first date was like, oh, I don't play video games. I just play The Sims and then just like kept listing off other games. And I was like, okay, well, first of all, you definitely play games, but also in dating me, I've completely corrupted her and now she plays tons of games. Like, you know, you name it, she'll try it. But like she also is a person who felt really turned off by a lot of games coverage. And so I've really looked to her and like showed her Mothership ahead of time and have been like, what about this turns you off? And like, she may be married to me, but she's definitely willing to be honest with me and be like, this part of it seems exclusionary or like this part of it is turning me off or whatever. Yeah. And that's been really helpful. So like, some of it is just like having people in my life that like feel turned off by IGN or feel turned off. Like, no offense to IGN, you know, but you guys get what I'm putting down. Like, there's a lot of like really normie capital G gamer coverage out there that is like perfectly fine for people who are already extremely ensconced in the world and like know the canon that we were talking about and feel comfortable there. And then there are people like my wife who never felt comfortable there and only recently have started being like, yeah, I'm a gamer, as like a way of talking about themselves. And I think I'm like super open to that. And also my co-founder, Zoe Hannah, that is also really close to her experience growing up. And she also like came to it later in life as in terms of like gaming and like the kinds of games she was into and felt really excluded by it when she was younger. And I think that's a lot of women's experience and girls' experience with games. So like having somebody on my staff and also somebody in my life and just friends to talk to like run coverage by, it's kind of like an anecdotal based answer, but it's how I'm going to try to do it. And also being super open to feedback from people. If I'm like creating something and I'm like, am I being too capital G gamer with this? Yeah. I feel like people in my life will tell me.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's something we've talked about a lot, especially with, you know, PP Bang launching last year, is just how to find the women and give them an inviting space, you know, for games discussion. And like, you know, again, anecdotally, but like the stats for how many women are following us on short form video platforms versus YouTube, it's like, it's night and day, you know, it's like, it is interesting how it's, I don't know, a more popular space for women overall for gaming stuff. But on that note, Manta Guy writes in and says, nice to see Maddy on the show. Reading her work was a pretty important touchstone towards myself gaining a more open-minded view of gender in games. And I've always found myself agreeing with all of her views. Congratulations.
Whoa, well, today I'm gonna say something freaking crazy.
Technically, they said, except for your take on Bayonetta 3, but I just erased that part because I figured it's better to stay positive here.
It's valid. I mean, we can't always agree about everything.
But they say, does this appearance mean that a Pew Pew Bang cross Mothership crossover is in the cards?
I mean, Janet's here. I'm here. Are we not saying this is a crossover? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a mini crossover.
I'm saying whatever Kelsey has said. I mean, we would have done something probably earlier on, but with our season run, we're sort of in between stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's always exciting to see more projects out there, especially like women-led ones. So we'll see, maybe, which is like the most annoying answer you can get.
There have been emails exchanged,
Emails have been exchanged, but I also think that like Pew Pew Bang is just a freaking amazing show, and I'm a fan of it. So I was already very starstruck even receiving a response to that, and I feel like we have like a mutual parasocial friendship or whatever. It's weird when like people are like, oh yeah, I'm familiar with your work too, and it's like, well, we've never met, but that happens sometimes in our space. And
happens most of the times.
I know.
Everyone
I know,
like starts
weird
to know each other.
Yeah, but Pew Pew Bang's awesome, and I'm really glad that it exists. And honestly, it existing was yet another thing that made me inspired to be like, maybe we should make something like this that's like a website version. Which is obviously it's different from podcasts, I keep jokingly saying, but like there's room for a lot of different kinds of things in our space, and I'm glad to see them emerging.
Yeah. Carolyn writes in, they say, since you wanted more Better Quest goals, today I completed my lifelong goal of becoming a published author. Shout out to the Pew Pew Bang girlies for the great advice on Pin Pals about reviews a few months ago. Congratulations. They say,
cool. It's fun to hear back from people when that happens.
Yeah. And they say, you don't need to read this part on air, but I will. But if anyone's curious, it's A Barista's Guide to Love and Larceny by Carolyn Bonin. Bonin? There we go. Congratulations, Carolyn. Huge.
That's awesome.
Speaking of Pew Pew Bang, Lamb Dance writes in. They say, hey, MinnMax, this week the Astra Awards, which Pew Pew Bang won Game Podcast of the Year, of course, from the Astra Awards. This week the Astra Awards controversially gave a dog.
God, I'm scared.
Gave a dog the reward for best performer in a horror movie. This is from the movie Good Boy. Since you have an Astra Award-winning podcaster amongst you, I thought it'd be worth asking, would you be offended or pleased if you were nominated for an award but lost to a cute animal?
Ooh. I don't think
Where
I'd be
are the
offended.
dog podcasts?
Pleased is dramatic. Like, I'd be amused, I think. It's hard to be mad at a dog.
Yeah, it's not the dog's fault.
How ugly is this dog? Or is it a cute dog?
It's good. I think like the entire horror movie is like from their perspective, I think is the angle for a Good Boy. But then would you even see the dog? It's just the best acting of the year is the camera work?
Honestly, the jokes on it alone, I think, are almost kind of worth it, though. I'm like, oh God, I'm going to get roasted in that family group chat for losing to a dog. It's like, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. That's also kind of funny. So yeah, I mean, I think it's funny that I had no idea this was going to be nominated against a dog when I like thumbs up the question. I thought it would be like, well, if I'm nominated against someone, like I'd rather be nominated against a dog and lose to a dog than like a grifter.
Right.
So it's like, that's where I thought it was going to go. I was like, dog is neutral in this scheme of things.
That's a cute dog. If you Google the Good Boy dog.
Yeah.
What about y'all? How do you feel about squaring up against this dog?
I mean, I think about like dogs. I was thinking about like, in 1982, the dog from The Thing probably should have won Best Actor overall. Like, I don't know who else was nominated.
No, that dog performance in that movie is incredibly good.
It's insane.
I realize it's like last maybe 2 scenes tops, but that dog acting, you're like, what's up with this dog for that whole time?
And also, I mean, yeah, that dog from The Thing kicks Henry Fonda's ass from On Golden Pond. Norman, it's nothing. He dies. Big whoop. That dog was everything.
Did you look up who won Best Actor?
No,
that year?
I'm just a big On Golden Pond fan. I knew that off the top of my head.
Oh, okay. I thought you did look it up. Yeah.
I was like, this is specific. This isn't a beef I share, but I don't. I think I'd be fine losing to a dog. I agree with Janet that it would be comical and that I would be happy to be dragged for it. Like the bits alone, I think would make it worth it.
Yeah, you're right. It's better than losing to like the besties or some monstrous thing like that,
Ben just be starting stuff for no reason.
We all have to yes and it because we're here and we're trying to be good sport.
I'm co-signing it by being here now. I'm just, in the cancellation process. But,
sorry. Crab Palace writes in, they say, all right, this is one of those questions that's so basic, but it freaked me out a little bit. Crab Palace writes in, is your experience with a game just the thoughts you have while you play the game?
No.
No? I think yes.
No. It's also like the context in which you're playing it. You know, like if I'm playing a game at the first times I played, what's that one where you're like the pepper grinder game where you're like drilling into the, I played that like at PAX, and I was in line and I was playing it, talking about it as I played it. And the person behind me said, "Oh my God, are you Janet Garcia? I'm listening to the MinnMax show right now." And and like, that was my experience playing it. And like, does that impact how I feel about the game? No, but that was part of like the memory, and like, it's all like the tapestry of playing the game is the context too, I think.
I mean, that probably made you remember that game more.
You maybe.
But
that's what I mean. It's all part of it. You know, if you're sick, like I remember platinuming Horizon when I had COVID, and like that was part of my experience with that.
Right.
Game. Like, you know,
see, that's what I was going to say.
More
it's
than
like the physical part of playing a game is the other piece. It's not just the thoughts you're having. It's maybe you had COVID while you're playing the game. Maybe your hand started to hurt while playing the game. That is a separate thing.
But
from
I don't want to freak anybody out. But aren't you thinking, boy, it sucks to have COVID right now, and boy, my hands hurt right now?
That is present as well. Those thoughts are present as well. But I mean, I guess we're saying is, are you your thoughts?
Which I think yes.
Or
you're not.
Or what about
You're
like like playing? I played split screen with my wife.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I barely thought about that game at all while I was playing it. But you know,
right.
It's like every game that we say, oh, it's fun because it's fun to hang out with your friends is a game that's not really, the experience isn't thinking about the game.
But it's the happy thoughts you have from that experience, so therefore.
No.
Okay.
But a feeling isn't just a thought, because you can feel something and not know why you feel it. Like, I get that you're saying your brain doing something is different than a thought.
Yeah, like
when I feel
there's
pain,
subconscious and conscious thoughts that are all playing a role in the experiences of playing a game. And there's also physical sensations that are playing a role, all three. And maybe even the additional part that's like what Janet was talking about, which is like everyone around you that is, I guess, also part of subconscious thought, but it's hard to kind of fully delineate how that's playing a role.
The booth exists because we're more than our thoughts when we game. That's why they get the sofa and Annapurna's, like, I got the retro, whatever. They're trying to create this like ambiance to boost up the game, you know, because it's like, it's all of it.
Right. Yeah. Like a booth at a con is like, that is like the externalization of how they want playing the game to be. Yeah. And not just feel, but to be. Yeah. And also, like, I do think you are not your thoughts, by the way. Not to get all therapy about it.
Not exclusively, at least, right?
Not exclusively.
Or do you feel like
no.
okay?
Is it? Do you have,
You're not. You're the sum total of your physicality and your thoughts. Like, all of that is you.
But your body can go away.
That's why people want the plug pulled sometimes. Even though some people would do that for, this is getting really dark, but like,
I know, right? I was like, whoa, I was gonna go there.
It's like if I was just my thoughts, but I was laid out with my. I don't know that I'd want to keep existing.
I don't want to be alive.
I don't think so. If I can't come back, if I'm just my thoughts.
No brain in a jar situation.
If I'm a brain in a jar and I can't communicate with anybody, that's kind of like being in solitary confinement forever.
I wouldn't want to do that. Now, if I can communicate out, hell yeah.
If you can
still like write in for the podcast.
You can write in. No doubt you can write in for the podcast.
You'd be like, hey, just, Janet's obviously not here anymore. It's really sad. For the 210s, here's what she would have. Here's what she felt like she brain saw that looked good.
Right.
Whatever, right?
Yeah. In this scenario, you're also still able to play video games by blinking.
Or like one thing, I'm like looking at someone else play, and then the haters are going to be like, she's not really playing because she's blinking, and then people are going to be like, come on, give her a break. She's just a head in a jar. and then the thought that I'm still pissing people off as a head in a jar will give me the will to live. That's
true.
all I need, really.
That's true. That's a good life.
Yeah. No, Madden 2003, like in my brother's room with that White Castle Crave case, like that was formative gaming experience, and a lot of that was just the Crave case.
It's true. I'm now thinking about brains in jars, which makes me think of Mother Brain, and then I think, surely you talked about calling your site Mother Brain, right?
No, although I did think of Mother Brain after I thought of the word Mothership, and I was like, oh, it's cool because there's like kind of a Metroid reference in there.
What was the worst name you thought of using for your site? Because when I had to come up with pen2pixels.com, which still, you could debate on if that's good or not. Like, honestly, I think Isaiah came up with that. I had
Okay.
trash.
I mean, I will happily pull back the curtain and reveal that I believe I Googled the phrase futuristic words. I think that was how it began. 'Cause I
You
was
are very
like,
brave. Thank you.
futuristic
good.
words. And then I read a bunch of futuristic words, and Mothership was one of them. And I was like, that's it. And like,
Nice.
it was that simple. There wasn't like a bad version of the name early on. There was a brief time period when I was like kind of mad that I couldn't just buy the Mary Sue. I did have to kind of get past that mourning period in my own mind where I was like, it's probably millions of dollars. And I don't have millions of dollars.
Would it really be worth it? Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
I'm looking back at the
But I
list.
do actually like the Mary Sue as a name for a site. I think it's a really cool name and like fun kind of like ironic concept. And initially I was like, oh, it'd be cool to have something like that. But then I obviously went with Mothership, which is more forward thinking.
Yeah. I'm looking at the list of MinnMax names. The number one on the list might be the worst, and it was
Oh, I'm so excited.
Tickle Frivolous.
What?
Tickle frivolous.
Frivolous.
That's giving we have
Tickle
we have
frivolous.
kind of funny at home. Tickle frivolous.
Oh my God.
Exactly it. That's exactly it.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
That's right up there
sorry.
with Waypoint's controller that someone threw out there. Like
Hey,
the Drake
that's not
song.
bad. Yeah, I don't mind that. Connor McCabe writes in, they say, hey, Ben, Jeffem, Janet, and Metroid Myers, is there an age someone can be that is too old to want a balloon for walking around purposes?
Wait, to want a balloon? Like
Yeah,
just
have
to
a
carry
balloon.
with them and walk around?
Just to walk around.
Oh,
'cause
that's
it's fun.
so funny.
I do think it gets creepy at a certain point, and I'm so sad to say that. I don't want that to be true.
I know.
I don't want it to be true. I want to say you can do it at any age, but like picture like an old man with a balloon. Like, isn't that kind of
No,
like
see, it
Lock
comes
'em
back
up.
around to me.
Does it come back
Like,
around?
I think ages like 40 to 59. It's like that's kind of freaking weird. 60?
Yeah.
Now you're
60
a
maybe
whimsical
it's
old
fine
person
again. But yeah, when you're in that middle age slot though, it is like, why are you trying to court kids so bad? What's
Yeah,
going on?
but
Like it does kind of invites questions you don't want to answer maybe. And people wouldn't necessarily assume like, oh, you're just enjoying the joy of having a balloon, which is sad and a sad statement about adulthood.
Well, I picture though you're in an amusement park in this scenario. Like if you're in a park just with a balloon, like that's scarier. I'm picturing like Disney situation.
Okay.
But like for me, like I don't want a balloon not because I don't have like the whimsy of it or I think I'm too old. I don't want a balloon because it's like I just don't want to have to take it around.
It's a hassle?
It is a
Yeah,
hassle.
big hassle.
It's a big responsibility.
I mean,
Huge hassle.
on an amusement park maybe, but you go back to that park scenario, you can't complain. You can tie it
But
to your
here's
watch
what's
or
funny
something.
though too, because I also don't necessarily want someone else to carry the balloon for me. Like the thought, Ben, of like, don't take this the wrong way. Imagine all of us at the theme park together, and I give you my balloon to carry, skin crawling. Ugh, yuck, right? Like it's,
What?
It feels weird if I was like, oh, can you carry this for me? Like, ugh, like it's yeah, it
don't
would be
know
like a
about that.
dynamic shift. I don't think we're ready for it.
I
No.
think it's like, I think it's lower of an age than we care to admit. I bet it's like 9 would be weird if it was like kid walking around a park with a balloon is the cutoff. 9, I think you're right. 9 to 71 is the no balloon walk
No
era.
balloon zone. Yeah.
I don't know, 10. You're first hitting the double digits. Some of those kids are still like very, you know.
I agree, but like once you're getting into tween, like 11, 12 area, you don't want to carry the balloon. Because
Yeah.
you start putting away childish things, as it were. And you're
right.
like, I'm not even interested. So it's almost like a moot point to consider that age range, even though I think
Yeah,
a
12 to
12-year-old with a
71.
balloon would actually be fine, but they'd be too embarrassed to carry it. And then
I
once you
agree.
hit high school, kind of same deal, but also other people start making fun of you for it. I don't know. It's like imagine a high schooler carrying a balloon. Guys,
Well, here's
we
where I think
okay
it, like
with
it's iffy though.
No.
Like, okay, imagine you're like 20, 21, 22, you're doing like the Disney drink around the world thing. You're
think
getting
that's
faced,
okay.
and then you get a balloon. I feel like that's chill. I feel like you're just a goofy buddy, just, you know, getting more and more drunk. I feel like drunk person with a balloon, kind of fun again. I don't know.
I also feel like this is so it's like the annoying thing people say about dating is that it's all about confidence, where it's like if you might have the right personality to pull off a balloon.
No, you
or the
don't.
right like kind of way of being a party person to like have a balloon and be
I want to
like, yeah,
see
it's
that.
ironic,
I want to see
whatever.
that freak of
Balloon.
that is a superhero of Riz that is pulling off a casual balloon
I'm
strut.
You need a certain level of riz to carry a balloon, I guess is where
I'm pretty
at
sure
on
if you look on like Disney World, Instagram. I'm sure you're seeing some
This
baddies
Disney
with
crap. Get the
balloons,
Disney
right?
crap out of your brain.
But
It's
are they
polluting
like,
all
are they
of
like
this.
throwing it away after? Are they carrying it the whole day?
Okay, yeah. See, I feel like you've
I know
introduced
baddies
another
are with the
layer here.
balloons.
Baddies with
Like-
balloons. If you're really hot, you can probably pull off a balloon.
Wow.
You tell me you can't picture this woman now in your mind,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know?
of
Like,
course.
she's got a balloon, she's got the ears.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, you know what I'm picturing now, and I can't unthink it? Is, with all respect in the world, Haley McLean's mom. Remember that commercial she was in the mall where she was carrying the balloons? Hottie
You
Bo
need
Body?
to just let go of Haley's mom.
She let go of all the balloons.
But that was for commercial. That's like totally different.
All right, she wasn't casually walking around. That's true.
You just wanted to mention Haley's mom on the show again.
Baba boom, baba balloon.
Jeff, I'm suspiciously quiet on Balloon Gate. What's
Yeah,
going on with
suspicious.
balloons?
He's a ballooner. We got a
Yeah.
ballooner in the midst.
Jeff actually has a balloon just off screen. He like pulls it in and he's like, I
I
didn't
feel
know
like
how to bring this up.
I would let Jeff carry a balloon
I like
around,
the
and I wouldn't
idea
say
if-
anything.
If someone stops you and says, "Hey, what are you carrying that balloon for?" I like the appeal of, "It's okay, I'm drunk. Don't worry about it."
Do you think if you're drunk, you can carry a balloon as well? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
At that point, the question is like, where'd they get the balloon? And that's kind of fun to picture.
Yeah, why
Yeah.
can't we be at Disney World, Ben? What do you got against Disney World?
it's
It's
'cause
the most balloon place that I know
Okay.
is Disney.
No. Most of the world's not going to Disneyland. We don't know what that crap is like. But the here's a pro tip on the other side of parenting here. If you're ever in doubt about what to get a kid, it's like, oh, it's like a kid's first birthday or second birthday. I don't know. What am I going to get him? Some hunk of plastic that
Cigarettes.
cigarettes is the answer, everybody. But like everyone people buy you the worst gifts for kids. They just bring, here's some other
Start
plastic
naming it.
crap. I got it for Christmas. I
They don't
got
listen
like
to the
a
show, but it's okay.
plastic accordion. It's like, oh, it's just an accordion little toy that just like blares loud music. It's like, this sucks. The kid's not going to get into an accordion because of it. Long story short, just buy balloons. Just bring a couple of helium-filled balloons. That kid will be out of their mind happy for weeks and weeks until the day deflate and they learn the process of death. Like that's the best you can do, I think. Just give them balloons. Every kid needs balloons.
Weirdly high death talk quotient.
Well, you haven't listened to the
On the
podcast
spot.
before, Maddie. I don't know. It's a dark
Yeah, I don't
one.
know. Maybe like behind the Patreon wall, it's just all death. It's all existentialism.
We've had it. We've had it.
all right.
Okay, Maddie. It's the death of everybody else's chances. What's question of the week? What question was the best and should win a prize from I Am 8-Bit? Is it
In a balloon.
Is it balloons? Is it the
I mean,
average
the balloon
games?
has recency bias. I feel like give me some like greatest hits. I feel like I need to remember the past crazy hour of my life.
Well,
in
there
order to
was
answer
ironically the
question
greatest hits
possibly.
question. There was the one about average entries, lowering status a little bit, teleporting back and directing your video game usage, whether experience with games is just thoughts you have while playing the games. It's tough to compete. Mothership, how are you going to attract women?
No,
Future
we're
of
not
the-
gonna put in a mothership question.
Okay, classy.
I'm freaking crazy. I do feel like are you your thoughts / what extent do thoughts play a role in what experience you have playing a game should win, because I feel like we got a really meta and it was fun.
There we go.
And I also liked the simplicity, the deceptive simplicity of the question.
I'm with you. Congratulations, Crab Palace. I Am 8-Bit will ship out that vinyl soundtrack for The Artful Escape. And now it is time for a segment that we call Get a Load of This. Hey, get a load of this, everybody. Maybe this is common knowledge. I'm sure we all learned it at some point and forgot it. And you all need to tell me if I'm too into this or not enough into this. The honeybee waggle dance. Do you remember this? Have you seen this? Where we have actually deciphered how bees tell other bees where honey is. Because they make like a figure 8 pattern, and it relates to like the direction that the figure 8 is facing is where the sun is, and then the intensity of how hard they waggle is the distance. And I keep going back and forth between like, this is the craziest thing that we know this bee's code versus like, well, I guess we know what a lot of animals communicate. Maybe it's not that crazy. So where's your stance? Is that wild or not?
I think it's cool that we know that about bees and that we figured that out. I don't know. I think it's confirmed awesome.
Okay,
I don't know if
good.
that answers your question
does.
effectively.
Then
I still have my mind blown by bee facts on the reg.
Yeah, they're the
Bees
best.
are cool.
They're the best. Mother bees especially.
I know.
Yeah,
That's why I named my site Mothership.
Smart.
It's after the bees.
The bees, because of the bees. Yeah. Yeah,
It's crazy how like colony collapse for bees was something that like everybody's really worried about, and then from what I understand, it's just fine now.
Is it?
Like,
I don't know what's going on here.
yeah,
These results are
here's an update
strange.
from the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency saying that reported cases of colony collapse disorder have declined substantially over the last 5 years. Yeah, it's getting better.
Wow.
And I feel like this is another uncited claim from me, but I don't think we ever found out why it was happening or why it's getting better. So I just think in general, nature's cool and there's a lot we don't know.
It's obviously that Save the Bee merch we all bought.
Yep,
That's what did it.
Yeah. Yeah. All that money went straight to the bees, baby.
Yep. Yeah. I basically Zelled them the money.
Jeff, have you got one?
Zell.
Yeah, get a load of this. Former New York Mayor Eric Adams launched a New York
Scared.
a New York City crypto token.
Yes.
Which he said
Yes.
a new token built to fight the rapid spread of anti-Semitism and anti-Americanism across the country. And now in New York City, I wonder why, who he's referring to that. 30 minutes after he launched it, he pulled all of his coins out of it and completely drained $2.5 million of liquidity out of it. Just ran away scot-free. It's a classic rug pull.
Well, these politicians need something to do other than get into lobbying. I guess I'll take that. Like,
Apparently.
No, you should not take that.
oh, okay. Well, so I shouldn't have invested? Is that what you're saying?
Ben immediately laying down during a fight. He's like, I don't know.
Ben's like, I don't know. I think I like Eric Adams. He sounds cool.
Give him a chance.
Oh gosh. Get a load of this. When I was a kid, I swear this isn't going to be like another Uno rant that I had on PB Bang. I had a mini deck of Uno cards. They were like super, super teeny tiny. I thought it was very cool. Bananagrams is one of my favorite games, like for tabletop stuff. And apparently they have a really, really tiny version of it called Super Impulse World's smallest Bananagrams game.
Oh, no.
It allegedly still has 145 pieces in it. And the images like do very little to give me a sense of scale other than the one of them holding the banana between their two fingers.
Oh, no.
I don't know. It's super tiny.
That's cute.
It's cute. And it's on the go. And you can, I don't know, if you're good at it, you can whoop people's butt on the go at any time. There's no excuses. The game's ready now. Start building the managrams.
Jesus. Links below if you want to check all this stuff out. Maddie, you got one?
I do. So this is, I will say get a load of this, but I want to give the backstory first. We had a listener write into Triple Click a fun fact that I did not know. And I was like, we should read this on the show. And Kirk was like, everyone already knows this. And I was like, I didn't know this. So I'm going to share this fun fact on the show for everybody who's
Hell
like
yeah.
me.
Take that, Kirk.
Didn't know this. I'm really like talking Kirk on this episode. I don't know why. You know what? Somebody needs to take the nicest person on Triple Click down a notch. Okay, so get a
I'm
load
Team
of
Maddie
this.
personally, so I don't know.
This is from a listener named Diego who wrote to us about how US-centric a lot of video game history and canon is, and they continue. I've always felt that PS1 games are underrepresented in best of lists and aggregator sites, especially my all-time favorite Vagrant Story. This is, I think, because during the 90s, Nintendo had a much bigger footprint in the US than Sony. Here in Argentina, practically nobody owned an SNES or an N64. We went from an NES bootleg called Family Game to Sega Genesis to PS1 and the PS2, which was ubiquitous. I didn't know about any of those fun facts about Argentina and the specific consoles that were available there. And I'm sure there are different console shortages in different countries around the world. And that results in very different video game canons for each of those countries around the world. And I just think that's really interesting. And apparently everybody already knew that.
Yeah. Everybody chime in together. Say "doy" in the comments, please. No, it's crazy. Like, yeah, so it's like a company called Tectoy. I think they were making new Sega Genesises because Sega licensed it out to them in Brazil, at least. And they stopped releasing them like last year or something. Like they were just still selling Sega Genesises because they were so
That's
popular.
awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
That actually owns. They should keep selling Sega Genesises.
Never end.
Not just in Brazil, everywhere.
Get a lot of this from the community. First Berserker Tortilla shared a link in the Discord channel where Mark Dara, longtime BioWare staffer and executive producer on Anthem, They now have on their YouTube channel a retrospective on Anthem since it was just shut down, but it's 3 hours and 40 minutes of him just going in depth, walking through that entire game's development history and takeaways and everything. And so it's kind of like a one-man oral history of Anthem. But if you want some insight on BioWare's Anthem now that it's completely wiped off the face of the earth, Mark Darrow's YouTube channel is a good place to go. All right, that is it for this episode of the MinnMax Show. Maddie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me. It was fun.
And if people should go to one place other than listening to Triple Click, where should they go?
Mothership.blog.
Sweet.
Go there right now.
Awesome. Support it, everybody. Please check it out. Link in the description. Give it a chance. The big launch is coming up
January 26th.
Okay. Least you could do, January 26th. Just set a reminder on your phone and then just go to that site and see how many times you're wowed.
If you don't want to be part of the pre-launch sale, which like you are missing out on a lifetime discount, but like, okay, I guess. But if you want to wait, you can check it out January 26th. And I think I'll win you over then.
Sweet. Janet, you got something to plug?
Yeah, I'm going to plug the podcast I do with my husband Isaiah called The Gamecast, which stands for the Games and Not Games podcast. Been doing that for, I think this is kind of like our second year or so. And we just put up our end of year content, which is like the gang of the year. So we go over the game and not games of the year. So it's like games, movies, like board games, a bunch of different things. So if you want to check out some content that's both gaming and not gaming related, that's where you can find it.
There we go. New Show Plus this week was a surreal one. The show that won the poll, it was the most votes we've ever had. We had like 965 votes on Patreon at the Backstage past year, and it ended up winning by 3 votes. So your vote very much matters. It was a show called Our Old Dating Messages, where Haley and I just read real messages from flirtatious periods in our lives 20 years ago. We read like real breakup messages anonymously and just our side. But it is a roller coaster ride of emotion. And like that morning, getting ready for that show and just going through 20 years of messages and trying to think like, who did I have a crush on in 2006? I can also go back and check those messages. It was surreal.
I don't think there's an amount you could pay me that would get me to do that. Not because I'm like too embarrassed to have people know what the messages are, but because that emotional process that you just described, of having to go back and read them myself, sounds like.
And you can't help but relive some of those emotions.
Getting the ick. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Ben, pitch this to Hallmark. Braver than write it yourself.
Yeah, you think it's like a whole screenplay?
There's a Hallmark movie in here. You know, we'll have to change like what happens after or whatever. But like, yeah, this is simple.
Yeah, you're right.
It's ready now.
Also, Bonus Pod, our Patreon exclusive podcast, went out on Monday. Haley hosts it every single week. It is a great podcast in the Bonus Podcast feed. This week was a special one, a different one, where we made a public version of it as well to put it on our YouTube channel. And the name of the video and the podcast was just, hey, let's talk about Minneapolis. Since MinnMax is named after Minnesota and Minneapolis here, and so many of us are based in Minneapolis. We just took an hour, and it was Jeffem and Sarah and I, and Haley chiming in as well with her legal expertise, just talking about what it's like with ICE in Minneapolis at the moment, personal stories, just trying to understand what's happening to this city that we love. So if you want to hear us talk a lot about that, you can dive into Bonus Pod. It's made public on our YouTube channel. But hey, that is it for this episode. Thank you so much, everybody. Greatly appreciate it. And Maddie, any final thoughts, wise words?
Hopefully they make another good Metroid game.
Someday, but they will.
Someday.
Yep. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Until next time, be good, have fun. Let's go.